wombat is squealing very loudly. Like you can tell
sad.
it's in distress.
Yeah. Be better.
Really sad.
Be better. Penny Wrong? Is that her name?
Penny Wong.
Penny Wong.
I don't know if
Penny
you
Wong.
noticed this. We were at a bar in Nashville on Friday, Brown.
Be Penny Wright, not Penny Wong.
We were watching Ole Miss and Auburn.
Yeah, I was there.
And in that bar, which was really cool, had out the open.
Yeah, it was a neat place.
In East Nashville. But these two girls had this dog that was scared to death to be there. I
didn't notice.
Yeah, and it was really sad. I mean, it was cowering. You can tell that it was just, I don't know, it was in distress.
Okay.
And I just don't know why you bring an animal out like that in public if it doesn't like it.
Oh, I didn't notice that. Was it a big dog?
Yeah.
Oh, wow. I noticed, when Auburn won at the end or hit a big shot, everybody clapped. There was one dog that did not like the clapping. I did notice that. Went crazy.
Yeah, that was an Auburn bar we were at.
Yeah, it was. Cool spot there in Nashville.
A place called Sonny's.
Sonny's, yeah.
So just scoring at home, LT doesn't want you to bring your dog.
If it's scared.
No, if it's scared, if it doesn't like being in public.
Yeah.
But knowing I'm socially awkward, you have no problem making me spend the night at an Alabama Welcome Center if I lose the bracket.
You don't start chewing on tables, though.
You don't know that.
You've never been around that.
You don't know that.
You choose to be at large events all of the time.
I do not have to talk to strangers, though.
But you often do.
Yeah.
Which is what it's
because you were telling me
socially awkward,
you were telling me about a conversation with a guy that you really don't know yesterday.
Drunk Jim,
which is even better, by the way.
walked up and talked to Rex Ryan at the bar in Nashville and asked him if I could buy him a drink.
Wait, we're just getting to this story at 11:55.
And now you ask why the sailor at Floribama wanted to take you home.
It was the actual Rex Ryan or somebody that just looked like Rex Ryan?
No, it was Rex Ryan.
And it was this weekend?
Yeah.
What was he doing in Nashville?
I have no idea.
So Rex Ryan is at the bar you're in Saturday night.
Top floor Tootsie's.
Top floor. Okay, this gets even
You
better.
said it was called Top Floor
No.
Tootsies?
Tootsie's is the bar. So Rex Ryan was out at Tootsie's?
Isn't Tootsie another word for a foot? And he's got a foot fetish.
Maybe so. Yeah.
I didn't know that, but
You didn't know about
didn't
the
know he had
foot
a foot
fetish with
fetish?
Wes
I
Welker?
didn't know Tootsie was
okay.
the word for a foot.
So Rex Ryan is
Footsie, I heard.
Rex Ryan is out at Tootsie's.
Yeah, with 3 other guys.
Okay.
And some of the people I were with said, "Hey, that's Rex Ryan." And I was like, "Damn, it is." And Bourbon Jim walked straight over, said, "Hey, man, welcome to Nashville. Hey, how are you doing?"
You live here?
Said, big fan.
Why do you leave these stories? You also didn't tell a story about maybe potential golf cart pulls up and says, "I'll beat your old ass."
Yeah, that was it. That was a couple years ago. Yeah,
That was retold to us over the weekend.
I'd never heard that story.
Yeah,
So,
yeah.
but, all right.
I brought it up on the air that I almost got in a fight.
Yeah.
One
You
of our
should tell the whole
sponsors.
thing. So
Yeah.
why was he in Nashville?
I don't know. We
Bachelor
didn't get into
trip?
that. And he
that's
was
what it sounds
he was like, "Yeah, thanks, man. It's a great city. I love this city." And we talked about the stadium going up.
Yeah.
It's ahead of progress.
So nice guy?
Really tremendous, nice guy.
I mean, I know
And I
Nashville's
said-
always.
I said, "I'm drinking a good bourbon. You want a bourbon? I'll buy you a drink." And he was like, "Nah, man, I'm good." And he was pulling out money to buy his own drink.
Oh, well, that's
And
nice.
at that turn, he did not offer to buy me a drink.
Well, wow.
Let me get you one, bud.
Okay, man, I'll walk away.
Like,
Yeah,
it
that was
has become an epidemic with the roofanols that are going on right now in Nashville. Like, there were last month 41 different people on record that were roofinoled.
Wow.
And there was a door guy when we were there. He got roofied, followed home, and they robbed his entire place.
Yeah, it's not just young females that are getting roofied, apparently. And this, I'm sure, is not just Nashville. I'm sure this is
I'm
most
sure.
any big city.
But I mean, Nashville, walking around Broadway, the one night we did, I mean, there's just so many people. Like, I mean, these people are getting preyed on.
Yeah.
It's amazing Rex Ryan was there because we met somebody that you're still talking to that we really can't get into. But like, how many different people were in Nashville that weekend?
To expand your business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us at sales@nextroundlive.com to be part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential consumers on our ever-expanding platform. Let the Next Round help take your business to the next level. Get more information by emailing us at sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to build a plan to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Everything Next Round is on demand now in the podcast section at nextroundlive.com. Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923. Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, the next round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Here we go now, live show as we start the tournament tonight. In some people's eyes, I'm not sure if Brown still considers this the tournament or not.
It is not the tournament, Jim.
Yeah, I've always agreed with Brown.
You're playing to get into the tournament tonight.
Okay, play-in starts tonight, the first 4 games as they officially call it, but we get Alabama State just down the road from us, who is in against St. Francis, who is a miserable 13-17 against the D1 teams this year. Winner gets Auburn, so Auburn finds out their opponent coming up. Later in the show, we'll do our blind, I can't even say the word, blind?
Blind.
The no-look
Blind rankings
that we stole off of TikTok and others. We'll pull out the dry erase board. Some first-round upsets as you guys continue to fill out your brackets. Make sure you go and fill one out for us as well. Brought to you by our friends at mybookie.ag. It's right there at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com. Traditional bracket going on right here. You go and sign up, as many of you already have. There is a big TV for first place. There's gift cards all the way down and store credit at the Next Round store. Some actual local winners, and it says there you've got 2 days, 50. Well, that's not ticking, so that may be a screenshot. It's got a clock there. You have, when the first game on Thursday. You got time. Mybookie.ag. But starting today, a new game we have for you there as well. It's the Shannara Showdown. Now, it's up and running, and we can go make our play right now on the North Carolina-San Diego State game against the point spread. And if you win, just like we do at the Pick 3, you go into a drawing, right? You just need one winner.
It's that simple. You can win. I don't know how many of these games we'll have. Let's say we have up to...
We should have 2 per round, right?
2 per round.
Yeah, so that's...
With these 2 games.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Let's call it 10 games. You could have 10 entries. You could have 1 entry. But as many times as you get the point spread winner right at the Shannara Showdown, you're going to be entered.
That's right.
Chance to win $1,000, $500, $250.
I think it ends up being about 12 games. If you're doing 1 today and 1 tomorrow and then 2 each day of the tournament until you get to where there's not 2 games anymore, then it's 1 game. I think it's 12 or 13. So you got some opportunities there. You only got to win once to get into the big drawing at the end. That's the way it's played, right?
Yeah, it's simple as that.
And you don't have to play every day. You just have to win once. So if you forget on Thursday, you can jump back in on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday.
That's right.
And that'll go on throughout the tournament, thanks to our friends at Alexander Shannara, trial attorneys. And that's right there as well. Same place. NextRoundLive.com, NextRoundLive.com. And Taylor Korn continues to send that out on all of our social media platforms at Next Round Live, all the way up until tip time for the bracket. And every day that tournament games and playing games are being played, you can play the Shannara Showdown. All right, so all that's going. Let's get to the news of the day when it comes to the NCAA tournament. And that starts with Nate Oats on Hey Coach last night, giving us an update on Grant Nelson. Here is Chris Stewart and Nate Oats from the Crimson Tide Sports Network, letting us know a little bit on what he needs in this and then what we need to know about Grant Nelson.
Mark's our best offensive player. Cliff needs to be anchoring the defense, so we need the 2 of them both to be at an elite level for us going through this tournament, and the 2 of them kind of combined can really carry this team as far as it's going to go. And obviously it'd be nice to have Grant playing like he did in the first half against Florida. We need to get him healthy. Not sure he'll be ready by Friday. We're hoping at a minimum he'd be ready by Sunday, and with the possibility of maybe Friday, but I thought he played pretty well. We dodged one. It wasn't anything too serious with his knee, but for sure will be questionable for that first game Friday.
Okay, for sure questionable for the first game against Robert Morris, but dodged a bullet with that one.
Yeah, that was the phrase that jumped out at me when I saw our social media send that out last night, and I watched the video. Not that he's questionable against Robert Morris. Like, I think even if you thought he could go against Robert Morris, you might rest him. Like
much like Cooper Flagg.
Yeah. But to hear him say we dodged a bullet, tells you there has been a big sigh of relief around that basketball program based on what information they've gotten from both doctor visits, or the doctor visit.
Just reading between the line, you take that, Brownie, as at one point in their head they thought it could have been season ending.
Yeah, I mean, I that's the way I listen to that and hear it, Lance, is that at one point Nate Oates thought, oh, crap, this could be really, really bad. We get back home, we go to the doctor says, no, not as bad as you think, and we breathe a sigh of relief. I mean, that's what I hear Nate Oates say.
But could have been really bad.
Yeah.
And, to me, Grant Nelson, arguably his best game was the regular season finale against Auburn on the road. That's the Grant Nelson you need to be able to make another Final Four run.
Yeah, you got him some in the tournament last year. He continues to amaze me, some of the dunks he makes. Like, he is the most unassuming-looking guy. He's got permanent bedhead, got that mustache, his pale skin, just out there lanky, just hanging out. I mean, man, he makes some thunder dunks.
Yeah, I mean, if he was an animal, he'd be a lemur.
Yeah, and makes some thunder dunks.
A lemur. I like that.
Why a lemur?
I mean, pull a picture of Grant Nelson. He looks like a lemur with a mustache.
I love lemurs.
You got to pull a picture of the lemur. I know what Grant Nelson looks like.
When my daughter was growing up, there was a show with a lemur in it.
You're probably thinking about Madagascar.
Huh?
Zaboomafoo.
That's what it was.
I was thinking about Madagascar.
No, yeah, you're right. The one that jumped around.
Yeah.
And it was like hanging on the dude's shoulder and stuff.
Yeah. I hated it, but she loved it.
Yeah, it was bad. Hey, Madagascar pretty good, but that show was bad.
Yeah, I've never even heard of the other show.
Good call on the lemur. That is Grant Nelson.
That is pretty funny, Lance.
Yeah.
When you have little kids,
not that one. Go back.
That's very surprised Grant Nelson.
Yeah, that one right there. That's Grant Nelson right there. Yeah, because Grant intentionally does his hair that way. By the way, as he's coming back into the action, he'll ruffle it up a little bit.
Well, he's got, the dark circles, too. That's one of the things, the eyes. We always talk about Derek Carr. Do you have eyeliner on? He swears he doesn't, but boy, the New Orleans Saints quarterback looks like he's got eyeliner on.
Doesn't he?
Yeah, I would say the lead singer of Green Day says he doesn't wear it either.
Oh, I think he does. I think he might admit that.
Hey, by the way, Tyler, if you go back to the original one, some people said that's Todd Golden. If you go back to the first one, the surprised one. Yeah, that one. A lot of people say that's Todd Golden.
Is Todd Golden? Is he going to become? We had a Calcutta last night, and I can't. I'm not even going to throw the number. Florida did go for the most amount.
You don't have to throw the number.
I would imagine you had to check somebody's FICO credit rating from Florida.
I think Florida was our most expensive team ever was Duke with Zion Williamson.
I was about to ask you that. And by the way, that did not cash a ticket.
No, it didn't. No, not at all. They lost everything because they only made the Sweet 16. But I think we had 3 teams that went above that last night in Auburn, Duke, and Florida. Florida was the most, Duke, then Auburn.
All were more than the Zion Williamson.
Yeah.
Yeah, see, this is the type of information I want because I'm telling you, when ESPN, if they will, I'm like you, Dunaway, I hope they put it in all-time context, which I would think they would. When we see the percentage of people that have Florida winning, I think it's going to be one of the most picked teams ESPN's ever had.
Yeah, just talking to people. Everybody's like, man, this team is by far the best team in college basketball. That just happened. I mean, a couple of days ago, we did our picks. I had Florida against Alabama, but I don't think you guys did.
No, I had Bama. Yeah, I had Bama. I had Tennessee beating Auburn and Bama beating Florida.
I'm not taking a shot. I'm saying just a couple of days ago, there were other people that believed Bama was going to win that game, and now you go from after Florida wins these last 2 games of the SEC tournament, everybody's completely blown away by them. Look, and I do think right now they're the best team in college basketball.
They also lost by 20 in Knoxville.
That's what I was going to say, but I don't think they're one of the best teams we've ever seen. Like, people are cut and dry, they're going to win this tournament. I don't see how you say that.
I just don't, Brownie, I don't think it's going to be that big of a margin because we've had heavier favorites in the past.
Maybe it's because I'm in the deep South.
Yeah,
I've talked to very few people that are going anywhere other than Florida. Yeah, everybody I talk to is going to Florida.
Now, listen, I'm not picking them because I get enough grief in IRL, in real life.
Yeah.
But Auburn's still very much in contention for a national championship.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Auburn is, Alabama is.
I would be excited about Auburn based on the amount they went for last night and talking to Auburn fans. After the fact, they were like, we're coming in flat.
Yeah.
I just don't see this team making a run.
And that's
the type.
That's the type that does it.
You're right.
That's the type that does it.
I agree.
And In fact, Auburn is probably in a better position right now than they would have been if they had run the table coming into this thing and had not hit rock bottom or wherever you consider them to be right now. So, and then there's Duke.
Is there Duke?
Yes.
Why is nobody talking about Houston? Why? I mean, Houston's a 1 seed. We think they might have gotten the best draw.
Yeah.
Brown,
I think
my bracket's
to
not
me,
official
Duke
yet.
and Houston are the most slept-on teams right now, and Duke's the number 1 AP team for whatever that matters.
It's not my final one yet. I'm still marking it up.
Are you done with yours?
I am.
Yeah, no, I'm not locked in.
I haven't
yet.
filled one out yet.
I'm not locked in.
You
yet.
haven't done one at all yet.
Not one.
Yeah.
All right, so our deadline is.
Well, we hadn't even come up with a bracket challenge.
Well, I know, but we got to get the bracket.
I think
first.
I think we all agreed that the hot dogs. were
No,
the
we
best
did not.
one.
Our deadline is
That would be
Thursday
so boring
morning.
for the viewer.
Yeah,
it
Thursday
really
morning.
would be.
Thursday
Oh
morning.
no! By Friday, while you're just struggling to get that last dog.
Well, but
in
it
at
wouldn't
11
happen. Like
o'clock.
day 1 would be 4, day 2
that'd
would
be
be
great.
3.
I wasn't going to bring it up on the show,
But
but I'll do it right now.
58 hot dogs.
What is the joy? Us maybe throwing up? That's what
Yeah.
that's what the joy is.
yeah, how's that pay off?
I
for the
see
viewer?
Forrester.
Well,
I see
Forrester's
okay,
cheering.
but
Are
last
we
night.
courtside of the Knicks game?
That's what I'm saying. Last night, they delayed the Pacers and Knicks because the great Tracy Morgan vomited onto the court, and they had to take time to clean it up. They can't bring the mop out at that point and just mop that thing up. It takes a crew to get that up. And then his nose is bleeding. He gets wheelchaired out. That's what you want to see?
No,
you
the
want to
worst-
see?
It
You want to
sounds like
see?
he's got some other stuff going
Well,
on.
he does.
You wanna-
Other than
you
just
wanna-
eating too many hot dogs.
You get throw up in here on this carpet, it will never come out.
That's right.
Yeah,
That's right.
or the smell will
It's
be
with
here
us
forever.
forever.
I
That's
will
what I'm
smell
talking
it
about, the
forever.
smell.
Yeah.
So
And
just
then,
bring a little bucket with you.
you want my nose to start bleeding? You want to wheel me out in a wheelchair? You want to pump, get the what's it called on the wall that you had on?
The
defibrillator.
defib.
Well,
Yeah.
if you make it out to the hallway, you're good. You know?
My favorite part
Mop it
about the
up.
bracket challenge is all the opinions everybody but us 3 get to have.
Yeah.
Like, we never get listened to about it. I don't think it's going to be good. No, it's great. People
No,
love
but
it.
if you told
may
me,
die.
We're the
Let's-
only ones that have to do it.
Usually, though, he's the one pushing for death.
well, yeah,
Yeah.
but death if
Jim.
you can accomplish it. Like if you've got to jump out of a plane, it's either the chute comes out or it doesn't.
Yeah.
But this hot dog, what I would say is if you are watching 3 other guys that have to do this challenge, and you know there is no shot that they can do it, and so the only drama is going to be, does he get 3 or 4 hot dogs
Yeah.
down? I mean, there's nothing to that.
3 or 4 hot dogs is nothing.
Did you guys ever?
Nothing.
Well, hey, do you guys want to sign up for this? Because we can do a backroom
That's
challenge
right.
too.
Yeah, y'all jump in the bracket
Yeah,
challenge.
You know,
we can do hot
equally-
dogs for you guys.
Yeah, equally, that would be just as entertaining.
Yeah.
We put a camera on you
Yeah.
guys, and whoever's the worst between you 3 has to eat 58
we're
hot
gonna.
dogs.
I feel like we're gonna end up doing the
The
spray tan.
That was the popular choice yesterday.
Yeah.
Popular
And then you
choice.
guys can do the hot dogs in
Yeah,
the
that's
back
right.
room.
Hot dogs in the back room's easy. Anybody can do that. Kind of
that's what
quiet
I
now,
thought.
aren't you, Tyler? Yeah. Hadn't watched a lot of college basketball this year, have you, Tyler? No. Tyler been going to movies. He's not been watching Marquette. Trying to
I'm
sweat
sorry,
out
I'm
a
trying to
win over
promote
St.
our other
John's.
channels.
All of a sudden, you're like, can a Triton beat a? You start doing mascot versus mascot. Can a Triton beat a lemur?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
That's
by
it.
the way, did you when you were in middle school or elementary school, did they put down like that sawdust looking stuff?
Oh, yeah.
That smelled worse than the vomit.
Yeah.
Well, I imagine they did that. I mean, you got to have something that soaks it up first,
Yeah.
so that you can shovel it up or whatever you do to it.
But it was actually, I think, a worse smell. I'd almost rather smell the vomit.
But
than
I
smell
haven't thrown up since December 26, 2009.
Yeah.
I just boy, that is not something I like to do.
Yeah. I
Well,
thought
a hot dog shouldn't be a problem.
Yeah.
No, I'm just saying I can't like physically eat that much. So again,
Yeah.
it would be boring.
I thought I was about to reset the clock March 16th, 2025, but I survived.
Boy,
so
I tell you.
I can't remember the last time.
When you strolled into Odie's, I was a bit worried about you Sunday.
Oh, I'd turned the corner.
No,
by
that's
then.
what I'm
And
saying.
what did you
That
have?
shows
2
you how much-
drinks Saturday night?
Oh yeah,
Give me 2 drinks.
2 drinks. I was over my head. I drank real drinks.
Yeah.
I got off the Trulies, all the whatever our brand.
Yeah,
name
but
is.
what?
You didn't go to Chiefs and get a
chair tosser.
Yeah, the chair tosser
Yeah,
or whatever it was, a
whatever they call it.
$19 drink.
I just don't.
drinking the brown water.
I just don't understand why Houston doesn't get more talk in this, though. Back to what got us to that. No, I know. I'm with you.
Well,
on
I mean,
that.
you look at Kelvin Sampson has done everything as a head coach, including NCAA probation at multiple schools, except win a national championship.
I know.
He's a hell of a coach.
Everybody-
And by the way, this is his best offense he has had since he's been at Houston.
A lot of
Yes.
teams, a lot of coaches. That's the thing. I think he's fixed the issue that has plagued both he and Rick Barnes. And I still think at times this year it's plagued Rick Barnes. This year it doesn't seem like it's plagued Kelvin Sampson. Like he and Rick Barnes have always been elite defensive coaches, but they've always had that offensive struggle. And it feels like Houston is not that team this year.
Tennessee is another team that people are sleeping on.
They are.
I don't see them winning a national championship. I could see they'll make a Final Four run.
I mean, they'll be in. I got them, probably playing Houston in that game to
that's,
get there.
That's the thing. They got to play Houston.
Houston's going to be a 2-point favorite.
Yeah, it's just I don't trust their offense. It can go south quickly.
Yeah, Chaz Lanier. I mean, they don't have a Dalton Connect.
That's right.
And you were in a regional final last year with Connect. Chaz Lanier is supposed to be that guy. He's good, but he's not Connect.
I personally think Houston's defense guards are so big, it can take Zakai Ziegler out of his offensive rhythm. And if Lanier struggled with Florida and others. So I think Tennessee can be beat. I think they can be beat. I think Tennessee can be beat by a team at Alabama's level. They can be beat by a team at Auburn's level. So I think it's a tough path.
Do you guys get a feeling in tonight's game that people are pulling against North Carolina because they don't deserve to be there?
I do get that feeling.
Yeah.
And I do think some people are in on San Diego State bouncing maybe an upset when they get there.
I can see that. I mean, first of all, San Diego State beat Houston in the regular season. We're talking about Houston.
Yeah.
They beat Creighton. They do have one of the best defenses in college basketball. Brian Dutcher's a guy that coached for a national championship just 2 years ago.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I think people will say, okay, I think San Diego State can beat North Carolina, and then I'm going to have them beating this Ole Miss team to bounce on out.
We talk about the committee doesn't put a lot of stock in the conference tournaments. You know who does? People that fill out brackets.
They absolutely do.
Because San Diego State losing in the first round of the Mountain West, everybody's like, this team's no good.
That's right. But that's why people suck at filling out brackets, right? Because we put too much emphasis on the conference tournaments.
Do you think, if North Carolina wins this game, the critics aren't going to say, okay, well, maybe they got it right with North Carolina. What would North Carolina have to do?
You got to win the first round game.
Okay, so if you win the first round game, then you think everybody will come back and say, okay. I didn't like the pick, but the committee obviously thought North Carolina was better.
You beat the other bubble team.
Yeah. And then you win a first round game.
And then you beat an SEC team.
Yeah.
A mighty SEC team.
I can see it happening.
Yeah.
I don't think it will. But.
Yeah. So that's tonight as we jump in. My bookie is about to give us the lines from Brownie over here. St. Francis versus Alabama State in Dayton. 5:40 on
True TV.
True TV. It is the Christmas day of True TV.
Are they still doing that horrible show, Impractical Jokers? We will find out tonight.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of the worst shows in the history of TV.
You're very positive about this.
Oh, I mean,
greatest shows.
You like it?
I would rather watch Friends.
They know how to do punishments.
Yeah.
That's all I'm going to say.
Oh,
they
God,
don't refuse
you're
punishments.
so close getting kicked in the balls.
Hey, let's do this real quick. Let's put an end to this. The thing about the hot dogs is we have control over that. Like if I'm like, I can't eat anymore, then like our suffering is on us. Like if you have to have a spray tan or you have to be stuck somewhere 24 hours, you can't control that.
No, I like
any
the
of
spray
us,
tan one.
Any of us can personally tap out with the hot dogs.
That's right. Yeah, I can just say I've done it 20.
Yeah,
I'm out.
Yeah. When I did the Cadbury eggs,
Yeah.
I ate as many as I could, and then I went and laid down in the office.
Yeah, but you were doing that for something. This is just you're not going to get anything for eating X amount of hot dogs.
Yeah.
Cadbury eggs, you were trying to wipe a steak.
Yeah.
It is weird. True TV. This is the only time I ever watch this. Ever. There is nothing else that comes on True TV that I'm ever on True TV.
Is there a Friends or Office reruns that run on there ever or anything?
I would think
because I see the promo.
I think it's just like the Next 48 or Forensic Files.
Yeah.
It's those type of shows. I think.
Oh yeah.
But like so, T-Mobile had the your top 5 friends or whatever. You remember that?
Yeah. Your circle.
Yeah. Do you think anybody
has
has True TV in their circle of channels?
Probably no.
I think Live PD was doing really well for them for a while.
That was a big show. I didn't know that was on True. All right, mybookie.ag, code next round is where you go for all these games I'm about to tell you. Alabama State tonight is a 3.5-point favorite over St. Francis in the first play-in game. We mentioned North Carolina, last team in, but they're a 4.5-point favorite over San Diego State. Quick look ahead to tomorrow. Texas is a 3-point dog to Xavier. If the first SEC team in action wants to get into the field of 64, They're going to have to overcome the point spread to do it. You can play all those games and everything, including our bracket challenge, thanks to our friends at MyBookie. Now, the bracket challenge is over at Next Round Live, but let me tell you about MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round at MyBookie.ag is going to give you a great sign-on bonus, 50% bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip, all right there when you use code Next Round at MyBookie.ag. Code Next Round, MyBookie.ag, including all the tournament action. You can bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag, code Next Round.
And our friends at Hemphill, they bring you LancesLock.com. Great time to sign up at LancesLock.com. You just go to that website, LancesLock.com, and follow the links.
Yeah, we're going to be sending some stuff out on social here in the next couple of hours, but all-inclusive, $75 will get you all of March Madness. That's simple, LancesLock.com. Free play every single day. Again, $75, all of the March Madness plays. That will include the NIT, play-in games tonight. Jump on board. Win with us at LancesLock.com. We crushed last March Madness. We will do it again this year. Always brought to you by our friends at Hemphill Services. Trust the name. Birmingham has trusted since 1954 for all of your plumbing, heating, and cooling issues. Any of those arise in your home or business, they are ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, HemphillServices.com.
Stephen Pearl, scheduled to be with us coming up at 9:30 at the bottom of the hour here. We'll talk to the Auburn associate head coach about the Tigers getting ready to do the reverse Tiger Walk today and head up to Lexington to start their NCAA tournament preparation. That reverse Tiger Walk is about mid-morning in about an hour, leaving the basketball complex down there. We'll have video out on our social media platform of that. Stephen Pearl in Auburn hitting the road up there, and he'll be with us next segment coming up. A couple of notes. Duke, number one in the final AP poll yesterday. It's the last time the AP poll will come out. As you would imagine, a lot of love for the Florida Gators. They are up to 3. But of the powerful SEC that has 14 NCAA tournament bids, it's Duke, it's Houston, then Florida. Auburn drops to 4. St. John's is up to 5. Tennessee, Alabama, Michigan State, Texas Tech, and Louisville, all right there. Yes, that's Louisville at number 10, who Auburn could play in the second round of the NCAA tournament.
They just don't feel like a top 10 team.
They do not, nope.
But Pat Kelsey's done a hell of a job in year one. Why do we even have an AP poll anymore?
It really doesn't make any sense.
Because these numbers don't matter when you talk about college basketball and all the metrics, right?
It does not. It does not. That's why we've always tried to give you the Ken Pom and the Torvac and the I don't know, just other metrics out there.
The one we can't say,
and all the others. Yeah. So it's that's the last AP poll. It's cool when your team's number one, though. That's Auburn was it for 8 weeks. When Alabama gets to be number one, we like being number one in the AP poll. But in basketball, not as important as it is in football. One other thing to get to right here in this segment. I want to, guys, I put things on my calendar that sometimes are stupid. 5 years ago today.
5 years ago today was
important day in show history.
Where it was either our man, Rudy Gobert.
Was it the first show from me and Lance in Lance's basement and you in studio?
No, I think it was the SEC tournament where they decided, I guess it was Tennessee and Alabama rolling out there, and they were like, you know what, we're not going to play this. And then the dominoes started to fall.
I think that was yesterday, maybe a couple of days before, because we hung around at the studio for a while. I was with you, Brian. I couldn't go to the studio for a while. Eventually, I went back illegally.
Yeah.
But today was the first day in 2020 that we were told we couldn't go into the studio and do a show together, even though back then we spent a lot of time together. We had dinners and we're at the pools together and traveled around a lot together.
Doing everything together but the show in the studio.
Families got together all the time, lots of dinners and drinks, but you guys cannot come together and sit next to each other in the studio. And we're like, why? We're together all the time. Can't do it. Can we all go over to Lance's house and do it? Nope, can't do that either. Got to be remotely from your house.
Guess what we did?
You know what we did? We all went to Lance's house. And we sat there and did it from there. And that was a miserable time.
366
I
days,
really
I think we did.
About it,
Yeah. But it was on this day that we did our first remote show because of COVID in 2020. And then it was, as that went on, and then I snuck back into the studio. And they continued to do it remotely.
that we decided
You're going to find a way out of that house.
Yeah. Well, I'm just saying. Well, I thought it was sort of stupid that Rockstar had to go in.
Yeah.
Okay, Rockstar had to be around other people.
Right, yeah.
And none of this stuff. We were talking Richard Holland, our guy from Kicking It Coolers, when we were in town the other night. Were you walking with us?
I don't remember. Probably.
No, to Neighbors, you were.
Yeah, to Neighbors, yeah.
And remember he was telling the story like how much business all the bars in Franklin were doing because the city of Nashville had shut everything down. So everybody was rolling to Franklin every night and lining up to go into these bars, going into the packed bars, and then coming back to Nashville.
So they were driving from Nashville to
everything
Franklin.
was such
Makes
a
no
contradiction during 2020.
Yeah, but, Rockstar and the other folks who had to go up there, we're not worried about your health.
That's right. Your life, that's expendable.
Well, you three, don't get around each other. Stay in your house. We need you. And we decided during those dark days that, hey, you know what? Let's do this ourselves. And we are.
There we are.
And here we are.
It's where the idea was birthed. Yeah, there's no doubt.
So it all started on this day in some form or fashion way back when. And I remember those shows on how we got up every day and we truthfully did it for our listeners and us a lot. I think it was great therapy for us, but we got such tremendous feedback from you guys every day that thank you guys for getting up and doing this. And it's the only normal thing going on in the world right now. We tried every day not to talk about the pandemic.
Yeah, we avoided it as much as we could unless it intersected sports. Like, games are canceled or games are going to keep going. So
we tried
the escape.
Yeah, we tried to do it for 4 hours, and it all started 5 years ago today, and hope we never go back. We'll talk to Stephen Pearl coming up. The show being brought to you by a couple of great folks. One of them, our friends at Oats, where, man, it rolls around quickly. We're there Sunday. You're going to be back there again tomorrow night for trivia.
I was there last night. Crestline.
St. Patrick's
location.
Day.
Yep, St. Patrick's Day. A lot of people out for St. Patrick's Day celebrating at Odie's. Great place to enjoy incredible food from Rodney Davis, like the award-winning wings, delicious burgers, fantastic sandwiches, ice-cold beer buckets full of the Bud Light. 2 locations. Again, the one I was at last night, the one we'll be at tomorrow night, the original in Crestline, the one we were at Sunday, the newest location in Edgewood. Get in, see Will Haver and that great staff. Birmingham institution, it's Odie's Tavern.
Hey, yesterday was a big day for those of you that like to print things because it was Bracket Monday. Everybody had that office. The one guy printing out the brackets, passing them around. Listen, if you're in office that prints a lot all the time, car dealerships, mortgage companies, real estate offices, tax offices, schools, pharmacies, you know how quickly the expenses can add up on this stuff. And that's why you need somebody like ImageCraft. They've been doing this for 40 years. All the major brands, HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, Xerox. They are your go-to for ink and toner supplies. Free same-day delivery on everything that is in stock to the Birmingham Metro. Free shipping outside the Birmingham Metro, right there in Trussville on Gadsden Highway, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center. You could shop in-store there, mention the next round for 10% off, or shop online with coupon code TNR10 to save 10% at imagecraft.net. Print more, spend less with ImageCraft.
Follow Brownie on Twitter and Instagram at Ryan Brown Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, for all of your IT and printing needs, reach out to our friends at Xerox Business Solutions. Look, I'm still one of those old school guys. I print my notes every single day for the show. If you watch the show here on the next round, you see all the notes in front of me. From day one, Xerox Business Solutions, they've been with us here at the next round. Local for over 45 years. For all of your IT and printing needs, visit XeroxBusinessSolutions.com or call 205-969-3000. That's 205-969-3000. Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with mybookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at mybookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
If you are a business that does a lot of printing, like a car dealership, mortgage company, real estate office, tax office, bank, school, or university, print more and spend less with ImageCraft. ImageCraft is located at 1151 Gadsden Highway in Trussville, just down from the Pinnacle Shopping Center, and online at imagecraft.net. They carry all the major brands like HP, Brother, Canon, Dell, Lexmark, Konica Minolta, Kyocera, Ricoh, Sharp, and Xerox. Shop in-store, mention TNR for a 10% discount. Shop online at imagecraft.net with coupon code TNR10. ImageCraft. Print more, spend less.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Take TNR on the go with a podcast built for your satisfaction. Miss Hour 1, find it in podcast form. Miss Hour 2, stream it now. Miss Hour 3, download it for later. Miss Hour 4, well, just know it's never coming back. Listen to TNR wherever you find podcasts.
What a great time of year to be online with our friends at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Okay, listen, I've been doing a lot of reading. Our next guest is not going to want to talk about anything like this, but I want to say it coming in that I thought the draw was a horrible draw for the #1 overall seed. I thought, my goodness, they have screwed Auburn here. And then, as I started reading Smart Basketball People, since February 1, there's only one top 20 offense in this region in the South, and that is Ole Miss, other than Auburn, of Auburn's potential opponents.
Right, okay.
And the path that is in front of Auburn matches up really, really good with.
Okay.
So I back off the selection committee. I now tip my hat to them, saying thank you for this draw for the Auburn Tigers.
All right, Stephen Pearl is with us, the associate head coach. That's got to make you feel great that Jim thinks you've got an easy path.
I
to
did
the
not
Final
say
Four.
easy.
I mean, I know
good matchup.
At least he didn't pick you guys to win it all this year.
I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. I did that last year.
Thank you, Jim. You made me feel way better this morning hearing that nugget. Thank you.
Yeah. No. I'm not going to pick you guys. I did it last year. I left Nashville last year thinking, dang, that basketball team's got great chemistry, got great swagger. They're playing good basketball. They're going to win it all. This year, you go up there and you lose. You didn't win. You didn't cut down the nets. But afterwards, BP was speaking confidence into the guys. How important is that to sort of turn the page, and how tough is that to turn the page and now go to this part of the season?
Yeah, I mean, I think obviously all you hear about is 3 of the last 4, but I look back and I look at our last 10. We're 7-3 in our last 10 games. We have wins over a 2 seed, a 3 seed, 2 6 seeds, a 9 seed, and 2 10 seeds. Our 3 losses came on the road at the national 13 seed, the national 6 seed on a buzzer beater, and the national 5 seed in Nashville by 5 points. So, if you want to play the Spin Olympics, you can look at it that way. But then the reality of those things is, you lose to A&M on the road, who's a 4 seed. You lose to Alabama at the buzzer, who's a 2 seed, and you lose to Tennessee, by 5 when you miss a couple layups, 9 free throws, and a couple wide open threes late, who's also the number 1 2 seed. You're going to have to play those teams in the Sweet 16, the Elite 8, the Final Four. So you got to win those games at some point, So, I think our body of work, obviously, over the last 10, we're still playing good basketball. I thought we played well against Alabama. I thought we guarded Tennessee really well. I just think that if you watch the game, we had a lot of really good looks late that just didn't go down for us those last 4 minutes. We were in position to win the game. So I still think there's a lot of reasons for us to be confident. You can't panic, can't push the panic button when you lose to 3 top 13 teams in the country. So, there's a lot to be confident about. Thought we had a great practice yesterday. So I think our guys are locked in and ready to go.
I do think it's the most difficult region in the South. Is it fair to say there are 10 teams that have played like Final Four teams at some point this year in that one region?
I mean, it's definitely the deepest region. You look at, there's 6 teams ranked in the top 19. There's 3 teams ranked in the top 10, 2 of which are going to be in Lexington this week. And there's 9 teams receiving votes in the top 32 in the country in the AP poll. So, it's and 6 of those 8 teams are in the top half of the bracket where we're at. So it's definitely the deepest, region of all the regions for sure. And, that's not even counting Yale, who's playing unbelievable basketball right now. So, yeah, I mean, obviously, it's the NCAA tournament, though. Everyone can look at their bracket and their region and say, oh, ours is the hardest, maybe except for one. But, I feel like, all those regions are tough and, ours is no exception. It's just as far as the depth goes. But, having played in the SEC, the deepest conference, obviously that prepared us to obviously have to play against some of the best teams in the country. And, we're going to have our hands full, but you gotta beat the best to be the best. So, we obviously are excited about the opportunity.
Auburn Associate Head Coach Stephen Pearl with us on the Shannara Hotline. How does the scout work right now? Do you have are 2 people scouting, both teams tonight, and then now you got somebody already pre-scouting both Louisville and Creighton? Is that the way that works?
Yeah, so we have 3 scout teams. One of those scout teams is scouting both St. Francis and Alabama State, and they will actually go to the game in Dayton tonight to live scout that game. So it's only 2 hours away from Lexington. So we'll fly up to Lexington. They'll drive over to the game, watch the game, come back. We'll watch film with the team. And then there's a team already on Creighton, and there's a team already on Louisville as well. So, yesterday in practice, we did a bunch of defensive shell drills, and, we just sprinkled in, some of the top actions of both Creighton and Louisville if we're fortunate enough to win the first game. And then we'll really concentrate heavy and hard today and tonight on stuff that, both of our potential opponents on Thursday will do. And once we know later on today who we play, we'll dive into the film and start getting ready.
Todd Pettiford did not have his best shooting game up in Nashville. You were a guy, I assume, that occasionally went through a shooting slump. What do shooters do to get out of a shooting slump? Walk me through that. And I'm not saying he's in a long-term slump. He just had one bad shooting game. They didn't drop for him. And I asked him afterwards, I said, do you just need a shot to drop? Is that what happens to you? How do you work yourself out of something like that?
Well, I haven't had a shooting slump since high school, since I wasn't really.
So if I figure it out, let you know, right?
Yeah. You might have to ask Todd. For anyone that's a great shooter, it's all about it's just repetition and just keeping your confidence. He had a similar slump earlier this year after the Arkansas, Georgia, and Ole Miss home stretch, and he followed that up with 21 at Kentucky, 19 at A&M, and 19 at home against Alabama. So, Todd's not going to change anything that he's doing. Obviously, he's going to continue to put in the extra work before and after practice. We're obviously going to continue to play call for him and going to continue to tell him that he needs to shoot the ball, whenever he's open and whenever he has the opportunity to. So, Todd was unbelievable yesterday in practice. Like, he had a different level of energy, a different voice in practice. And it was really good to see. He's an unbelievably confident, player. And, for a guy, the reason why he's such a good shooter is he doesn't let, nights like that bother him. And he's able to get to the next play a lot quicker. So, Todd knows that we have all the confidence in the world in him. And he has all the confidence in the world in himself, which is why he's such a great player.
This week is so different than a regular season week, the way it lays out, but you guys have done it so many times. Do you feel like you've got kind of the day-to-day mastered over what the first round looks like, and what does that look like? How does it play out for you guys?
Just as far as like the prep going into it, or what?
Yeah, I'm talking about, more the logistics, the prep, how different is it from a regular season week, and do you guys learn anything on the fly? Like, did you learn something different last year?
It's a little different just because, we're like the NCAA handles the travel. So you have to charter out of Montgomery instead of chartering out of Auburn. You're taking the band and the cheerleaders and you're taking your family. So it's a little different. And you're leaving a day earlier. But, we kind of did the same thing as far as leaving a day earlier to Nashville. And we've done that in the past. So, we try and keep it business as usual for the guys, and they don't really experience or see much of the differences that go into the nuances of logistics and travel. But we just try and keep it business as usual, and we'll prepare the same that we've prepared all season, like we did for the non-conference and conference games.
We always talk about that switch flipping when it gets to March or to the tournament or whatever. Is that a real thing? Like, do you just feel different about it?
I would say, for me, as a coach, my energy level has gone way up since obviously losing to Tennessee, just because it's almost like a new season, and it's refreshing to finally prep for somebody else that's not an SEC opponent. It's kind of exciting to watch a different offense, a different defense, and just see something new. And obviously, it'll be nice to have a opponent that doesn't know everything that we're doing on the offensive end, and obviously everything that we're trying to do on the defensive end. And obviously our players are excited because it's the biggest tournament in all of sports, and being the number one overall seed, there's a different level of attention that comes with that. So our guys are fired up. Obviously it's an incredible opportunity to play 6 games and try and win a national championship. So everyone's in a really good spot and excited to go.
And you got to be the number one overall seed, and that's. I don't want to talk to you without bringing that up. That's historic. There's just one every year, and you're it this year.
Yeah, no, it's obviously incredible. It's incredible for people at Auburn used to hope they'd get to the tournament every 3 or 4 years. And, people were disappointed that we finished the season the way we did, and we're the number one overall seed. So it just kind of shows you how far, we've come as a program. And, it's obviously a ton of credit goes to our guys handling the schedule that we put in front of them. We put together the greatest resume in the regular season in college basketball history, just in regards to quadrant 1 wins and then quad 1 plus quad 2 wins. When you look at other number one overall seeds or even just other teams since the net's been established. So had a great regular season, didn't finish the way we wanted to, but honestly, the teams that we lost to are all teams that are going to compete to make it to the Final Four. So, if you look, I saw something the other day. If you look at all the teams in the top 25 of KenPom, the average loss or the average opponent loss, ours was like a 6. And then the next closest team was 12. So it just shows you, the value or the strength of our losses. We're not going to hang a banner over that, but, we're not losing to bums. So we got to keep that in perspective and understand that, we're playing great teams. We've beaten a lot of great teams, and the losses that we have had have come against really high quality opponents. So got to be able to learn from those games and our mistakes and clean them up as we move forward.
All right, 2 things before you go real quick. Number 1, in the NCAA tournament, how common is it to catch an official or an officiating crew you've not seen all year, or maybe even in a couple of years? Is that fairly common?
Yeah. You're not gonna recognize 1 or maybe even 2 guys, especially in the first round. Usually you'll see one guy that you've had throughout the year in your first game, whether it's an SEC official or somebody that you saw in Maui or in the non-conference. And then, in the following round, it's going to be more familiar as far as just the top guys. But in that first game, you're going to walk out there and you're going to see someone, you're going to see a name. You're like, who the heck is this guy? So, we've told our guys, and it's the reason why we lost the Tennessee game. And it's the reason why we lost the Yale game a year ago. We fouled too much. We sent Tennessee to the line 27 or 28 times. They made 25 or 26 of them. And if you look at the possessions where we guarded without fouling, Tennessee couldn't score on us. Or if they did, it was a tough contested shot. So for us in round one, we've got to do a better job of guarding without fouling because the games are called much tighter in the first round. Everyone knows that, and, we know that. So our guys have got to do a great job of making them earn everything. And then as the tournament goes on, they let you play a little bit more because you have more experienced officiating crews that are going to obviously kind of let the games be figured out with the players on the floor. So we got to make the adjustment in game one and then obviously adjust in game two as we go.
All right, and last thing, away from the NCAA tournament, Ryan Miller was named the Murray State coach, but there was a report from ESPN that your name, you were one of the finalists, one of the guys being considered. Personally, is that pretty cool to see? I mean, that feels like to me anyway, it would feel like validation that I've done a good job. That's a really, really good mid-major job that's launched a lot of good basketball coaches.
Yeah, I mean, you look at some of the guys that obviously coach there, and just speaks to the success that they've had. And I don't know if you guys remember this, but 2018, 2019, we had a 3-year series with Murray State, and we went to Murray State in 2018 with the team that won the SEC championship that year. And that was John Morant's freshman year, and that place was completely sold out. And those fans were thanking us for coming and playing that game. And, right then and there, as a young coach, I knew, damn, this is an unbelievable job. And now it's in an even better league. It's in the Missouri Valley. So, obviously it was, obviously an honor to have my name mentioned with that job. And, to have, an interview for that job was obviously, pretty special. And it just, speaks to obviously the job that we're doing here, that we're able to get those kind of looks for guys on our staff. So, yeah, I mean, it was obviously, it was good for me to, have my name circulated with that job. And, obviously if we continue to have some success, that'll continue to happen. But, obviously I don't want to leave Auburn. I love it here. I want to be here for a long time and obviously continue to, take this program to new heights.
Well, crap, I don't want you to leave Auburn either. So don't leave.
Well, we would have still done the weekly Murray State basketball update with Steve.
Yeah, well, if he gets offered the Indiana job, he might take off.
I'll be on the next round up in Bloomington.
That's right. Yeah, it's huge.
See,
huge
that's when I start selling BP on just how great the lake is down there. Spend more time here, Dad.
No doubt.
I'll still let you come sit on the end of the bench if you want to.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Hey, Coach, good luck in the tournament. We will see you next Tuesday. Always fun talking to you.
I appreciate you guys. See you next week.
All right, buddy. Take care. That is Stephen Pearl, the associate head coach of the Auburn Tigers, with us on the Alexander Shinora Trial Attorneys Hotline.
See you next week. He's not going out in the first 2 rounds. He's in next week.
Yeah,
that.
It's really interesting though that and they've not. Look, this is just real. They haven't made it past the first 2 rounds since the Final Four run. That's 2019. Now, to be entirely fair about that 2020 team where the tournament got canceled was a really good team. I don't know what they would have done. They were NCAA ineligible one year. But, I mean, that's just the facts.
Well, look, he's done an incredible job. Obviously, Auburn basketball, you brought up the fact they're the number 1 overall seed. He talked about it used to be, kind of viewed if you just got to the tournament, it was a win. But the bottom line is they've only gotten to that first weekend one time, through the first weekend one time.
I've been sitting around last few hours, last night and this morning, reading this story about South Alabama and the NIT. We'll get into it in a second. But I was sitting here going, God, there was a time that we had to cover the NIT around here.
Cover being very loose. Even when Alabama and Auburn were in it, I didn't watch the game.
We didn't like it. Shouldn't exist. A couple of great sponsors here. One of them is our friends at A+. Tell us about A+, Brownie.
That is my guy, Brad Bell. It is who redid the master bath in the Brown house. And when it came time to redo that master bath, my wife, Jennifer, scoured the internet looking for the right person for the job. She talked to people that had used contractors. She talked to contractors, read reviews. Brad Bell was the guy she picked. AlabamaBathRemodels.com is the website. You can go see more before and after. Scott shows you ours a lot. You can see many, many more at alabamabathremodels.com. A+ is the company, 205-422-1758. That's Brad's cell number. You can go to the website, or you can just text Brad and say, I'd like for you to come quote my job. That's the way we did it. He came over, and let me tell you, when you know a guy's confident in what they do, he said, hey, have you ever looked at these one-day bath remodels? Like, yeah, I've seen the master bath. He goes, go ahead and get a quote. He goes, it's going to be more than mine. I'll go ahead and tell you that. And a lot of times they just come in and slap a shower over an existing shower. It's just filthy. And I'm like, man, I'm not even going to call them now. But by the way, he was right. I've talked to people that got in quotes. Mine was better. 205-422-1758. 205-422-1758 is Brad Bell. But here's the website, alabamabathremodels.com.
That's right. And our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama, great guys that will keep you on top of your medical health, guys, as you age out of your 20s into your 30s, 40s, 50s, and beyond. Urology Centers of Alabama, 16 locations. Call this number to get more details and to schedule an appointment, 205-930-0920, 930-0920. Prostate health to kidney stones, everything in between, vasectomies, you name it, they take care of you. 16 locations, Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Urology Centers, Alabama.com. Before we get to the viewing menu, and then Clay Travis at the top of the hour, a couple of travel problems. North Carolina's plane delayed 3 extra hours yesterday trying to get out of Chapel Hill or wherever they had to fly out of, and they didn't get to the arena in Dayton until late at night. They opened it up. They did a shoot around. Got a little time on the court.
Like Hoosiers, they had to throw open the door and turn the lights on.
So North Carolina does a shoot-around. They played tonight after the St. Francis-Alabama State game. North Carolina, San Diego State, winner gets Ole Miss. But there was an SEC school whose charter had a gas leak.
Oh.
And
you never want that in a charter.
You never want that.
Not in a charter.
So the trip didn't happen. So they were having to go today to get to Denver. They wanted to go yesterday. It's Texas A&M LT. And it's important, they felt, to get there a day earlier than most schools are traveling to get used to the altitude. And they, because of the gas leak, just now getting out to Denver today, one less day to acclimate to the altitude. Oh, by the way, who do they get in the first round? Texas A&M.
Oh, it's a tough game.
Oh, it's Yale.
Uh-huh.
Yale. I mean,
I've seen them.
They'll never beat an SEC team in the first round. Oh, they did it last year. And who did Stephen Pearl just say he's playing great basketball right now?
He even chuckled when he said it. Did you hear it? Did you hear the little laugh when he said, yeah, Yale's playing really good basketball?
Yeah, but they are.
Yeah.
And now, they have to get there and to acclimate, but so does Texas A&M. Interesting matchup there.
Maybe that's why A&M went from plus 50 to win it all to plus 75. Or 75 to 1, from 50 to 1 to 75 to 1. Because they were one of the big movers in the wrong direction.
There.
It's just a joke the way the NCAA does that travel thing for this tournament.
Just give them the same money and let them do it?
I think the NCAA does it because they make money on it. I think it's just one more cash grab for them. But I would almost guarantee you a program like North Carolina would tell the NCAA, you tell me what you're making off this flight, we'll pay you that, and then we'll book our own.
I don't know about that.
Oh, I guarantee.
I'm going to pay you and still book it myself?
If they had that option, like if the option was either you can let the NCAA handle travel or you could pay us X and you handle travel, I guarantee you big programs like North Carolina would do that. Yeah. Did you just hear Steven talk about how different it is?
Yeah.
You get in a rhythm of doing things, and now all of a sudden we got to bus over to Montgomery. And I know that doesn't sound like a big deal, and it's not. It's an hour drive from Auburn, if that.
But the good news is it is equitable because everybody's having to do it, right?
And that's why they say that, is that we're going to make it equitable so that St. Francis travels just like Duke travels.
Yeah.
And that ain't the way it goes, by the way.
Do we think it's equitable?
No, it is not. Yeah. You talk to the coaches, and they know it's not. Andy Kennedy.
You don't think they're sending the Chicago Bulls jet to pick up Duke and
go back?
They're sending the Tropics from whatever that movie was with Will Ferrell to pick up St. Francis.
You go back to last year's I think it was this day last year. Andy Kennedy's on the show, and I think did they not play a Friday game? I think they played a Friday.
I think they did against Houston.
And he was on this show, and we're like, what are your travel situations? He goes, guys, I wish I could tell you. We don't know.
Well, remember, they were all going to Spokane, Auburn and Alabama were already getting on the plane that day, and Andy didn't know when they were leaving.
He didn't even know when the flight was leaving. So it is anything but equitable.
Auburn and Alabama were getting on the plane.
That's right. Yeah, little
T was on our show.
Little T was already getting on the plane, headed up there chasing
Pringle.
Dick Pringle.
Yeah.
Yeah, and AK was like, I wish I could tell you when we're leaving, guys. We don't know. We're still waiting to hear from the NCAA.
Waiting on our jet to arrive here in Birmingham. All right, viewing menu time here. Clay Travis at the top of the hour, then back to basketball. We'll go. Before we get to this viewing menu, I want to remind you that our friends at Way to Wellness can help you with your weight loss, your journey to healthy living. Leslie and her board-certified team, I don't know if you've noticed, I've lost a few pounds thanks to them. Getting healthier for the summer, maybe a pool invite for LT over to the pool to show off this great new body, LT. Could be Beer Olympic summer.
It's all on Taylor.
Yeah, okay. So always Taylor.
Well, she's the one that created it.
She did create it, yes.
Planforme.com. Planforme.com. It's Way to Wellness, your journey to healthy living. No contracts, no sign-up fees. And the first consultation is free. Meal replacement, protein bars, injection therapy, whatever they can do to help you jumpstart your weight loss, get better blood pressure numbers, cholesterol numbers. It's all right there. Way to Wellness, planforme.com. And our friends at Michelson, which brings you the viewing menu.
205-969-8100, the number that I called. Asked for Amy. Told the next round sent you. She's going to hook you up with that hassle-free consultation. Stop procrastinating. If you wear glasses or contacts, you're wasting money each and every year. I'm speaking from experience. Got the procedure done over 2 decades ago. Still have 2015 vision better than 2020. 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
Tonight on Netflix, there's a new comedy special from Bert Kreischer called Lucky.
Does he take his shirt off in it?
I assume so. He says he loses 45 pounds. He gets parenting advice from Snoop Dogg. He knows he's the luckiest guy around, and he's recounting his blessings in this special.
Oh, why would he lose 45 pounds? I thought the part of it was he wanted to be fat, sloppy, and drunk, right?
Yeah. I think a doctor said you're going to die.
That'll change it.
Yeah.
Yes.
We've had him in studio. He's actually a really, really funny guy. Now that
Very
was back,
nice, right?
Yeah,
Nice
when
guy,
he was telling the machine story, which has been told hundreds and hundreds of times, watching his stand-up.
What I like about you've heard the machine story, right?
Oh, of course.
That's
He
a great
told
story.
it in studio with us, and like Lance said, there's no telling how many times he's told that story. And told it like it was the first time he'd ever told it, which I always respected that about him.
Ton of energy.
And it was not, because we've had the opposite of this. It was not, tell us the machine story. Ugh. It was not that. He was excited to tell it. And I'm like, that guy's probably told that story 10,000 times. And it was like the first time he'd ever told it.
Yeah, that's become like his signature joke, and it's almost like Ron White's tater salad bit.
Except that one's funny.
I've never heard the tater salad bit.
Oh,
it's a good one.
So, you think that's good? That is so
never
hokey.
mind.
You can have your opinion. I just think it's hokey personally.
All right, tonight at 6:48 precisely on Cinemax. This is also streaming on Max if you just want to watch it whenever. Is The Iron Claw. Very depressing movie, but it is fantastic.
Man, I had no idea how jinx that family was. It didn't stop. You're like, damn, man, that's a terrible break. And then 2 minutes later, my God. Like, you thought the Kennedys were jinx?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
The Von Erichs had it rough.
The Von Erichs, it was insanity. But it is a really, really well-done movie.
And there was another brother they didn't even add into the movie, and he had a tragic life as well.
There's only one that survived, I think. Only one of the sons lived.
I think so.
Yeah, and it's really sad because of how tight the brothers were.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Is this the High Wire family?
No, wrestling, professional wrestling. You're thinking of the Walindas?
Yeah. My bad.
The High Wire family.
Well, there were some people that fell off the high wire and killed that family.
Sure, that is true.
And then if you've got Hulu, the Best Picture winner of last year, Anora, is now streaming. So you've heard me and Tim talk about it on The Meltdown.
I had
Lance
somebody
mentioned it.
ask me last night, should I watch Anora?
And you said?
I was like, that's a really...
It's a hard movie to recommend.
It is, but I try to base it on people's personalities.
Right.
So I told this guy, you probably will like it.
Well, I don't know what that says about his
All
personality.
he sent back was, man, that girl had a banging body.
And that's the Michelson viewing menu, what Tyler is watching tonight. That includes the play-in games that you can watch on True TV starting at 5:40 with St. Francis, and from right in Montgomery, Alabama, Bama State. the SWAC champions. Winner gets Auburn in that game, so watch it so you know who Auburn's playing. Michelson bringing you that viewing menu.
Yeah, 205-969-8100. That is the number. For more information, you can always go online, michelsonlaservision.com. Dr. Mort Michelson, Dr. Jen Michelson, best in the business. Make the phone call that I made, 205-969-8100.
Clay Travis talking about the bracket when we come back on the next round.
Follow Dunaway on Twitter and Instagram at Jim Dunaway.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Hey, Lance Taylor from the next round to tell you about one of our favorite places for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. That is Hamburger Heaven since 1982. Hamburger Heaven has been serving Birmingham's best hamburgers, cheeseburgers, French fries, hand-spun milkshakes, and sandwiches made fresh to order. All of their ingredients are fresh and prepared daily. This includes their beef, always fresh, never frozen, hand-pattied each and every day. For breakfast, lunch, or dinner, visit any of the 4 locations, Highway 280, Irondale, Gardendale, and Homewood.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
This hour of The Next Round is presented by the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, now featuring 7 days of giveaways with your chance to win a share of up to $125,000. The more you visit the Birmingham Racecourse Casino, the more chances you have to win.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com, for the latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today. I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
All right, don't forget nextroundlive.com for a few more hours leading up to Thursday. The mybookie.ag bracket is there for you. Hundreds of you have already signed up. Local winners. This isn't a $1 million contest that nobody ever wins. It isn't some national conglomerate bracket where you're battling all of America. This is our show, our viewers, our bracket challenge with real winners right there. You can play right now at nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, the website, links off our social media at nextroundlive. And then starting today, the game's up now, the Shannara Showdown, where you play daily in a pick'em against the point spread. And if you get a winner, you're into the big drawing for, cash Visa or cash cards at the end here. So we look forward to that.
Yeah, and look, we got 3 different winners. So we've got I've got Coke residue on this.
Yeah.
So making a complete mess. So we have 3 different winners. First prize, $1,000 gift card. Second prize, $500. Third prize, $250. Again, all you got to do is at least get registered one time, and it starts tonight.
Now, we've never gone to Clay Travis for fashion.
Okay.
But my God, his outfit in Nashville was kicking. Good old Rocky Top. Look at those orange pants my man had on courtside.
That's beautiful.
I think he's got multiple pairs because I think one time we went to the Rocky Block. No, it wasn't the Rocky Block game. It was the 2009 Lane Kiffin game. Who blocked that kick?
That was
Terrence Cody.
Cody.
Yeah. But I think Clay had on orange pants. I don't know if they were the same orange pants.
Yeah, are those the same ones, Clay? Have you had them since 2009?
Same pants, and they still fit. So that's a win if you're 45 years old.
Yeah. Clay not gaining weight since 2009. All right. Yeah.
And we were courtside for the game against Florida. I think Florida is the best team in the SEC right now. I know Auburn had an incredible season, but if I were betting, and I am, I would take Florida to win the NCAA tournament right now. I just think they're playing at the best level of any team in the SEC down the stretch run. I like their depth in the front court. I really like their guard play. And Walter Clayton Jr. is just, he's tough, man. He kind of puts them in a position where they're always taking good shots. And basically, basketball is a game of shots, right? The team that takes the best shots tends to win. And I think Florida is going to be taking the best shots in the NCAA tournament, particularly with the uncertainty surrounding the injuries for Duke, in particular Cooper Flagg. That I think could limit his overall effectiveness.
I take it you're not superstitious because if you wore those pants to the Rocky Block game and to Sunday,
they covered.
They are not doing well.
They didn't cover Sunday.
Time to burn them.
Yeah. Look, the bigger question was, I didn't think about it till later. My 10-year-old wore a Peyton Manning jersey to the basketball game, and I didn't think about the fact we were playing Florida, and that was maybe a poor omen given
That's true.
Peyton Manning's history against Florida. So maybe should have gone with a different color or a different jersey for that one.
Clay, it is pretty amazing. The SEC got 14 teams in. We'll never see this again. If they expand the tournament, they expand the conference, possibly, but 14 teams. With that said, typically, you go back to the Big East when they got 11 in 2011, 2012, only one team made it past the Sweet 16. Do you think it's different this year with the SEC? Do you think the SEC will dominate this tournament?
Well, first of all, you could end up with a lot of head-to-head SEC games, right? For instance, I believe if I'm remembering the bracket correctly, I haven't officially filled mine out yet, but Vanderbilt could play against Alabama if they pull a small upset against St. Mary's, right? So,
Yes.
You could end up with Alabama versus Vanderbilt second-round game. Tennessee, if Tennessee wins 2 games, would be seeded to play against Kentucky in the Sweet 16. Look, Mississippi State, I believe if Mississippi State pulls off the upset, they would be playing a second-round game against, Florida? If I'm not mistaken. I think they would. Anyway, there are a lot of games where the SEC team is the lower seed, or the higher seed, meaning they're not necessarily favored by seeding to win, but they could pull off small upsets. and end up having to meet up a lot of SEC games as early as the second round. With that in mind, I mean, I think Alabama, Tennessee, Florida, and Auburn are all super elite teams that were capable and are capable of winning national championships and beating anybody. And what I would hope as an SEC fan is that the incredible competition level of the conference this year, where you had to be up and ready to play everybody, right? I mean, only South Carolina and LSU were left on the side. I mean, it's hard to win on the road anywhere, much less against an NCAA tournament team. So I would hope that all those teams are battle tested and in a position where they're going to string a bunch of victories together. And I do feel very good about Auburn, Florida, Tennessee, and Alabama, all at least making the Sweet 16, which would mean, I think you'll probably get a couple of other teams in there as well. I don't think it's crazy to think that we could have 5 or 6 of the final 16 that are all from the SEC.
Clay Travis is with us. He's the founder of Outkick. I was trying to remember before I ask you this question. Clay's with us on the Shannara hotline. What the SEC reeled off as far as national championships. Wasn't it, am I right, wasn't it 14 of 20? Something like that? Something
college football?
College football, yeah. It was something like that, 14 of 20.
Yeah, from 6
starting
until,
starting in 06, was it like 8 in a row?
Yeah, something like it. It was,
lost.
Yeah.
Until Auburn lost to FSU, the SEC.
Yeah.
What was that, like 2006 season to 2014 season?
Yeah, 13. And then in 14, Ohio State won it, and then I think it was back to the SEC
it was
in
Bama,
15.
Clemson, LSU, Bama, Georgia. So the SEC dominated that. I was going to ask you where this ranks in SEC accomplishment. Like there was the one year, Dunaway, you bring it up a lot. You were out in Omaha when it was 4 of 8 SEC teams, and they literally changed the way they did the seeding after that, did they not?
They went to the super regionals to try to eliminate some of the SEC, and a few years later they had 4 of the 8 again.
We're a football crazed conference, Clay, but I wonder how we'll look at this, and maybe it just depends on how the tournament turns out, and accomplishments in SEC history. 14 teams in the tournament.
Yeah, look, I think what it represents is the NIL era might make it harder in football because I think there are a lot of schools that really care desperately about football all over the country, whether it's Ohio State, whether it's Oregon, and they're putting all of their money into those sports. But I know in particular, like Tennessee, for instance, I mean, Tony Vitello has got, I think Tennessee's 20-0 right now in baseball, which is unheard of, coming off of a national championship. Tennessee's putting money into NIL. I think what you're seeing with, and that's, by the way, college baseball, obviously, college basketball for women. There's a lot of money that's getting spent on NIL. And I think what you're seeing is the SEC is spending more in NIL for basketball than maybe other schools are able to do. Football's going to get its money, right? And I think that's where maybe things are going to get more competitive for the SEC and football. But maybe uniquely, the SEC schools are also putting a lot of resources into college basketball, and in some cases even into college baseball and to women's basketball in a way that a lot of other schools are not. And I think that's what's emblematic of the 14 schools getting in the conference. I also would argue this is Greg Sankey's most impressive accomplishment, because when he took over, there were 3, and one of those teams, I believe, was in a play-in, and now there's 14. And I don't think anybody would have ever anticipated in 8 years, if I had told you on your show when I came on, hey, I got a prediction, flag this one, within the next 10 years, 80, 90% of SEC teams will be in the NCAA tournament. I don't think most people would have anticipated it. And I mean, I do think it's kind of an interesting question for a school like Kentucky. For a long time, Kentucky put all of their resources into basketball, and a lot of other SEC schools didn't care that much. Suddenly, where did Kentucky, finish in the SEC this year? 8th. Suddenly you're seeing all these other SEC schools putting mega resources into basketball, and Kentucky, which to a large extent kind of had a free ride, for many years is not as wealthy as many of these other schools, and I wonder whether that's going to make things more difficult maybe than Kentucky fans are used to.
Hey, Clay, quiet speculation, and I'm really surprised this is not more of a bigger story, that Rick Barnes might be done after this tournament. He might retire. Have you heard any of this? And I think we all agree this Tennessee job would be massive.
Yeah, look, I think there's been the relationship between Rick Barnes and Zakai Ziegler has been very, very special. And Zakai is going to finish his career in the NCAA tournament at some point. And there have been, sort of hints and rumors that Rick Barnes might look to hang it up when Zakai Ziegler's tenure at Tennessee ended. I don't know if that's going to be true or not. I mean, obviously he's been winning at an incredible level, and I think, you guys tell me, I think he's built Tennessee basketball into a place where, they could go out and certainly, look, the athletic department is printing money now. I think Tennessee basketball could go out and hire almost anybody they wanted in the country. I think it's a elite job at this point. When you look at what Bruce Pearl and Rick Barnes have been capable of doing. But yeah, that rumor's been out there. He's over 70. He seems pretty plugged into me. The one thing is he's going to have to replace Zakai Ziegler, Meshack, who obviously he really loves from a defensive perspective. Every year in college basketball, it feels like a lot of the rosters turn over. But Tennessee at the backcourt in, Jordan Gainey, they're going to have to make a lot of choices on the backcourt in terms of what the team looks like next year. And look, Rick Barnes has hit gold, I think, back-to-back years in the NIL sort of transfer portal. Obviously, Dalton Knecht, probably the greatest one-year transfer maybe in college basketball history in terms of a guy that came in and won SEC Player of the Year. And then he obviously has done very well with Chaz Lanier this year. I don't know what he wants to do going forward. So I don't think that would be a crazy decision. Might also factor in how they do, right? I think if they had a disappointing second-round exit, that might be different than if he took Tennessee to a Final Four and felt like, he was kind of riding out on the sunset of an incredible season.
Clay Travis with us on the Shannara hotline. I think we were unanimous in our agreement yesterday that if that job came open, Tennessee, if Rick Barnes retired, and I was a coach and I could pick between Indiana, NC State, or Tennessee, I'd take Tennessee. Did we all agree on that?
Yeah. Would anybody – that's a great way. Would anybody, 20 years ago, if you had said, hey, you got a choice, Indiana basketball or Tennessee basketball, would anybody have been like, yeah, I'm going to take Tennessee?
No, or maybe even NC State. There was a time where NC State was a better job than Tennessee.
Yeah, but I think a lot of it, no knock on Tennessee, and obviously Rick Barnes has turned this into a power, but I think there's a lot of SEC programs. We talked about Chris Beard. Chris Beard, there's probably some loyalty to Ole Miss, but would you really leave Ole Miss for Indiana? I think at least you would have to think about that for a second, just because of the resources now in the SEC.
Yeah, look, I think if Rick Barnes left, I think one of the calls they would make is to Chris Beard. I think you'd be crazy not to. I think I might have said that on your show recently. I know moving in conference is not always an easy thing, but I think Chris Beard would probably look at Tennessee compared to Ole Miss and say, goodness. I could certainly. Speaking as Chris Beard, I think the expectation would be a national championship for him at Tennessee, and I'm not sure that's a reasonable or rational goal at Ole Miss. He almost got one at Texas Tech, so if he could do that at Texas Tech, I think he could certainly have an incredible amount of success at Tennessee. I do wonder on some level whether Rick Barnes might feel like he gets the ability to kind of anoint a successor. I haven't heard that, but I'm just kind of wondering. He's had a loyal coaching staff around him for a while, so that might factor in a bit. But I don't think Tennessee should be held hostage by Rick Barnes's request if he were to leave, because I think, to you guys' point, the job is such a stellar one that I think there'd be a lot of people doing whatever it took to try to get it.
As the money-grabbing NCAA, because this is their big money maker, as they consider expanding the tournament, how important is this little piece of paper this 64-team bracket that Nancy in the office pool and Joe down at the garage that don't watch basketball but love to fill out a bracket, how important is this little sheet of paper to the NCAA tournament?
Well, I mean, I think what they would probably argue is the 4 games or 8 games or whatever the heck it is that they do the play-in on Tuesday and Wednesday for has not dramatically decreased the popularity of the 64-team bracket. So, I don't know how many people fill out the first 4 as a part of their brackets. I don't know anybody who does it. You end up in that situation where you're kind of either waiting until Thursday morning to do your bracket and you actually know who the 11 seeds are, for instance, that are going to be advancing, or you just randomly go ahead and select whatever random 11 seed it is to win that game against the 6 seed. And certainly, I mean, I think the 16 seed play-ins, nobody's worried too much about those. So I think probably what the NCAA would argue is that it hasn't really detracted from the 64-team model to have the bracket to fill out. And if they expanded, they would do it in some way, building on the backbone of what they did to get it to the expanded NCAA tournament with the first 4.
What do you think was bigger, the bracket for the NCAA tournament or fantasy football for the NFL and the growth?
Gambling.
Oh.
Well, no, gambling's for both of them. That's why I'm asking you. Which one do you think?
I would go the bracket.
Yeah, I think the bracket because I feel like with fantasy football, it brought in people, but the NFL already had such a huge audience. I mean, what is it, 130 million people or whatever the heck it was watched the Chiefs game against the Eagles this past Super Bowl. I think the bracket probably has gone and made it a bigger thing because there are people that, I mean, know literally nothing about college basketball that will enter a $20 pool. I do think that the popularity of NCAA tournament gambling pools helped to fuel the legalization of sports gambling because I think a lot of people said, well, I mean, I don't feel like throwing $20 into an office, pool as everybody tends to do is somehow corrupting the game. It actually gives everybody way more of a rooting interest. I do think they're similar. It's a really good question because fantasy football makes you care about every game. And I think the bracket does as well. It gives people a rooting interest.
Try telling our mutual friend Rick Neuheisel that there was no nefarious act. I mean,
if your buy-in fee is $20K or whatever the heck it is, that's a little bit higher stakes than the average person out there.
All right, he is Clay Travis, founder of Outkick. You see him on Fox as well, at Clay Travis on social media. Enjoy the tournament, Clay. We'll see you next week.
All right, appreciate you all. Thanks a lot.
All right, buddy, take care. Clay with us on the Shannara Trial Injury Attorneys Hotline.
Yeah, brought to you in part today by our friends at Bojangles. Brownie, tell us about the Bo.
Jimmy D, there are some tough decisions when it comes to filling out that bracket. We've all had to do it. We all had to do it over the weekend, except Lance, who hasn't filled his out yet. He'll get to it. But I'll tell you what's not a tough decision, where to go for lunch today. That is Bojangles, my friend. Bojangles has the Bo Bites. They are exactly what you would want for lunch today. Those Bo Bites are bite-sized, hand-breaded, fried chicken to crispy perfection. Perfect for sharing, snacking, or when you're on the go, just don't call it a nugget. It's a Bo Bite. The hardest part for you, picking between the sauces, a house-made ranch, the spicy peach honey pepper. So head over to your nearest Bojangle today. Discover the dippable, shareable, craveable Bo Bites. It's Bo time.
And our friends at New Life Art, Daniel A. Moore, the great historic sports paintings. I mean, I was at a restaurant, a barbecue place the other day, and got to relive some of the great paintings from Daniel A. Moore sitting on the wall there while I was eating, including I'd forgotten all about the reverse with Lawyer Tillman. That was a Daniel A. Moore piece there. You can go look at all the arts or maybe get a new piece like the legend celebrating Coach Nick Saban's 6 national championships. DanielMooreArt.com, DanielMooreArt.com. Promo code TNR. Go and celebrate your favorite college moments with our friend Daniel A. Moore, DanielMooreArt.com, promo code TNR. All right, we do this occasionally. You often bring this up. CBS Sports has ranked them today, and it is the best combination, best tandem, college football, college basketball tandem out there. as we go into this NCAA tournament. They update this every year at cbssports.com. If I say to you, best tandem in the country, and by the way, they got it wrong, but
best college football, college basketball coaching tandem in the country.
Yeah. Who do you think it is?
I personally think.
You say CBS got it wrong.
In my opinion.
Okay.
I mean, Kansas has got to be in the mix. I know.
Okay. It's
oh,
number
my
one.
gosh. I cannot believe.
Is it number one?
That's number one.
Yeah. Lance Leipold, I know last year wasn't great.
I can't believe we're to the point where we can actually say Kansas City.
I mean, that was the team we were talking about maybe winning the Big 12 last year, and he has completely turned things around. And when you talk to insiders, they swear he is one of the most difficult coaches to prepare for. And then Bill Self.
Yeah.
I mean, he is probably the most successful active coach right now in college basketball.
I guess. It didn't look like it this year, but I guess.
Yeah,
you guess.
I mean, neither one of these are
coming
off a good year.
One bad year.
Yeah.
Bill Self has won like 800 games, Jim.
Yeah.
Well, they update this every year.
Okay.
I mean, how are you number one if you update it every year?
I think you can make an argument for Nate Oates and Kalen DeBoer, but Bill Self has had a better career than those two combined.
Yeah, I no doubt. But they in 2024, Leopold and Self were ranked number one. So you're obviously changing this every year. I mean, there's got to be some movement.
Okay, well, who was number two in 2024?
I don't know who number two is yet. I'll get to that.
Well,
number two this year, I don't necessarily agree with this at number two, but they've got Alabama's DeBoer and Oates at number two, up one from last year where they were number three.
It feels a little quick on that for DeBoer. Oates has been to a Final Four, but DeBoer's been to a national championship game. I would just say, give me the arguments against. Like, give me the combo you would say they are obviously better than DeBoer and Oates. I mean, give me the combo.
Well, I mean, I've got a list over here.
Well, I mean, give them to me. You tell me the ones that are obviously better. Like, I don't feel like they're the second best.
Yeah.
I don't. But then if you're like, okay, well, then give me the second best.
I think they might be.
Well, only because when you tell me give me the second best, who am I going to go with?
Yeah, okay. Number three is Matt Campbell and T.J. Olzenberger at Iowa State, up from number 9 to number 3. So, see, they factor in what went on this year a little bit.
Well, yeah, so Matt Campbell bounced back this year, and they played for the Big 12 championship game. They were a half away from going to a college football playoff, but you look at Iowa State basketball, they're 6-7 their last 13.
Yeah. I mean, I think both of them have done a good job. I think we grade Matt Campbell on the curve a little bit because he's at Iowa State. I don't think you have to do that with TJ.
It's funny you admit that. You never would admit that with Dan Mullen.
I think we absolutely admitted that with Dan Mullen. You were the one that said we should be doing it.
Or Mark Stoops.
I just don't think Mark Stoops has accomplished as much as he is graded on the curve. There's no doubt. I just don't think it's accomplished.
As far as Iowa State, I mean, I would put, and again, Lane Kiffin really hasn't done anything.
Yeah.
But based on Chris Beard, I mean, I would put them right there.
Hold on.
You got to get to Oregon pretty quickly.
I? Number 4,
well, you
Tennessee.
should.
Tennessee, Josh Heupel, Rick Barnes at number 4, up from number 7.
There's and you get this in this discussion a lot. There's a pretty big imbalance in there. Heupel has not accomplished a ton, and Barnes has accomplished a ton. And he hasn't won a national championship.
From CBS Sports, number 5, Clemson with Brad Brownell and Dabo Swinney. Not ranked last year, so they're all the way up to number 5 from unranked.
An Elite 8 will do that for you.
Well, yeah, and look, I mean, this Clemson team could make a little run this year.
Yeah.
Not moving. 6 last year, 6 this year. Dan Lanning, Dana Altman.
I mean, that's probably about where they should be. Dana Altman, I think, is viewed as a really good coach. What's Dana Altman's deepest run in the tournament?
I will tell you, so he got to a Final Four.
No. Final Four?
And they should have beaten North Carolina. The year Dunaway had to do stand-up. Right. They had that game won. I think they would have beaten Gonzaga. I think that thing, that is his, Wimp Sanderson talks about is it the Loyola game?
Loyola Marymount, where should have played
let
up tempo.
Yeah, I guarantee you, the one game that haunts Dana Altman is that North Carolina game.
Now, since that Final Four, he's not made it past the Sweet 16. I know Sweet 16 is still a good season, but that Final Four is a long time ago.
Growing up, I don't remember anything about Oregon basketball. Do you?
I do not.
So
no.
and I think Oregon is poised to make a move in this tournament.
But Dana Altman, you got him out.
I don't think they see the weekend.
Wow. You don't think they make it through the first round?
Yeah.
They ain't losing to Liberty.
Dana Altman has won 779 games, too. That's a lot.
Yeah, and
that's a lot of
wins. They
wins.
lost to Michigan State in the semis or the quarters of the Big Ten, but before that, they'd won 8 straight games. Like, nobody's talking about. They've got a legit 7-footer, a senior, and Nate Biddle that, like, has been dominant recently. So, I don't know. Like, Liberty could hit all their threes. Maybe it's a little bit different. I don't know what they've got for
The only
Biddle.
coach I can remember before Dana
And I don't
Altman.
want to talk you out of Liberty, so keep them.
Oh, I'm not talking.
The only coach I can remember before Dana Altman, Ernie Kent. I can name you 2 Oregon coaches all time. Dana Altman
And he
Ernie
actually
Kent.
had a couple
No,
of
he
good
wasn't
years.
bad. They went to Sweet 16, I think.
Elite 8, I think.
Yeah.
Number 7, I'll just run through the rest of the list real quick. Number 7, Michigan State. Jonathan Smith, Tom Izzo down from 5 to 7. Crazy that they're down with Izzo having a better year. Number 8, not ranked last year, up to 8. Dan Hurley and Jim Mora Jr. Good year for UConn football, relatively speaking. Unranked last year, up to number 9. Scott Drew and Dave Aranda. How they are ranked now after unranked. Aranda and Baylor was and Scott Drew and them are down.
Much like, excuse me, UConn, very, very skewed to the basketball side.
Yeah.
I mean, Dan Hurley is so good.
Yeah, not skewed enough, though, because Auburn's not on this list, so you can't skew it enough. Number 10 is Houston, Willie Fritz, and Kelvin Sampson.
I would have
down 1 from 9.
I'd have Pearl and Freeze in front of some of these.
Yeah, I mean, Freeze does need to carry his weight a little bit.
We've gone too far without Pearl Freeze here. I mean, that's
Kentucky, North Carolina, and Miami dropped out of the list, so one of them was 2. I don't know which one was 2, but one of them was 2
It would
and
have
dropped
to be
out.
Kentucky with Cal there, Cal and Stoops. I mean, Cal's won a national championship in a ton of games. He's been to a bunch of Final Fours.
All due respect to our friends at CBS Sports, and I have a lot of friends who work there, but I'm not a fan of that list. You?
Well,
Is
it's
it a good
hard.
list?
It's a hard list to do.
It is a hard list
because
to do.
you end up being
Lane
so
Kiffin.
imbalanced.
Kiffin and Beard, that's a great example.
You just end up being so imbalanced. Like when Nick Saban was still coaching, it didn't. Nate Oats is really good, but it didn't matter who was there before Oats. When it was Avery Johnson, you're like, how do I do this with Nick Saban and Avery Johnson? Avery Johnson hasn't done anything, but Nick Saban's the best college football coach we've ever seen. So how can I not put that tandem number 1?
And speaking of the best college football coach right now, where is Mike White and Kirby Smart?
Not on here.
Well, they got to be.
I mean, Mike White's in the tournament at least.
I just read the whole list.
So I will say this.
I don't comprehend well, but I'm good at getting through a
But
list.
will you guys tell me this? Mike White is a better basketball coach than Jim Mora Jr. is a football coach.
Yes, accurate.
So if you've got the skewed basketball, then you've got to do the same for football.
I don't disagree with you. Based entirely on what Kirby has done, but still, you did that based entirely on what Dan Hurley has done. Interesting one. What would you do? Because oddly enough, basketball may weight you down here more than it should, but he has been to a Final Four. What would you do in North Carolina?
Yeah, well, with Bill Belichick now.
Would you? I mean, you would have to say, I got to see him coach in college first.
Yeah,
right?
I would imagine Belichick hasn't factored into the rankings.
But if you just
and Hubert Davis is like an incomplete. I can't figure him out.
I can't either. It's weird. I think.
In fact, didn't I just say North Carolina fell out of the list?
Well, you may have. You said Kentucky fell out and
Miami and North Carolina fell out of the list. So
well,
they
again,
took Mac Brown off and added Bill Belichick.
Yeah, you got a much
yet.
better football coach.
Yeah. Tell me about it. Hey, they did get a recruit flip yesterday, and I'll only bring this up because it is a 4-star defensive tackle, Trayshawn Buffin, who flipped from Texas A&M to North Carolina. He is the highest recruit signee of Bill Belichick's time there so far. He is 195th overall in next year's recruiting class.
So that's the best signee he's ever had.
And that's the best signee he's ever had. If he's going to get where he wants to go, now I know he's going to do some of it in the portal, a lot of it in the portal, but if he's going to compete with what the Sabans and the Smarts used to do, he's got to recruit better than that. That's the highest one. He hopes that is not the highest one by the time we get to October.
Oh, 100%. You can do a lot in the portal, but you still can't recruit, guys that are only in the hundreds. You're going to have a few good players.
He needs some Lawrence Taylors and some Julius Peppers.
Exactly.
Yes, he does.
Hey, we've got our spotlight coming up in the next segment. We've got some 4 downs still to come on the show today. Back to the basketball bracket. The show being brought to you by a couple of great sponsors. One of them is our friend Dr. B underneath that great hat that you can get in the Next Round store, by the way, nextroundlive.com, Next Round store.
It's a good Georgia Bulldog hat.
It's a good look, yeah. Good look. Or Chicago Bulls if you're in that mood.
Yeah. San Diego State.
That's right.
San Diego State if you're in that mood. Yeah, playing tonight. Yeah. Tell us about Dr. B.
Yeah, Dr. B, best in the business. Again, when I started to thin out more than 3 years ago, I asked around. Dr. Beckenstein is the name. Continue to pop up for more than 20 years. Women and men have turned to Dr. B for a range of cosmetic and reconstructive procedures. He will use that experience, his advanced training, genetic testing, to help his patients fully understand the procedures they are considering. Call Dr. B and that great staff today. Tell them the next round sent you. 205-319-0316. T3hair.net for more information. T3 has that new test that is so easy, painless, affordable, takes 4 seconds to perform. It's going to show which medicines and compounds will specifically work for your hair loss. Men and women ordering Hims, other products online, don't even know if they work. Stop wasting your money, critical time while you're losing your hair on treatments that aren't working for you. Come see Dr. B. Find out what will work for you. Again, book the consultation, 205-319-0316 or T3hair.net.
All right, let's take a look at some of the point spreads right there at mybookie.ag. Code Next Round is where you sign on. They're also bringing you the bracket challenge. You can find that in the contest section at nextroundlive.com. You can go to mybookie.ag and sign up and play the games in the tournament. Tonight, Alabama State, a 3.5-point favorite in the play-in game against St. Francis. Winner gets Auburn. North Carolina, we just talked about them, 4.5-point favorite as they take on San Diego State in Dayton. Quick look ahead to tomorrow night. Texas, the first SEC team to dribble a ball in the tournament, will be a 3-point dog as they take on Xavier in that 8-10 game there in Creighton. Quick check on the Alabama line while we're at it. While we're here, if you want to take a look at the Alabama Crimson Tide, pretty heavy favorite there. Obviously, they are a 23-point favorite over Robert Morris. All of that right there at mybookie.ag. Code Next Round when you sign on at mybookie.ag right now. You will get a 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000. 50% bonus up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip. All when you use code NEXTROUND. mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. That is mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
Call the Next Round now at 205-734-0923.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between 2 warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Hey, there's nothing worse than waking up to a plumbing problem. Don't get caught in a flooded house. Call the guys at Hemp Hill Services. Adam, Chad, and the team at Hemp Hill are the only ones I trust to fix it and fix it right the first time. Hemp Hill Services does it right and always at a fair price. For all of your plumbing, cooling, and heating needs, trust the name that Birmingham has trusted since 1954. That is Hemp Hill Services. Call now, 205-229-2090. That's 205-229-2090.
Hang out with the Next Round on the go. Whether you're driving to work, running errands, sitting on the beach, or you just need a break from the real world, we can keep you company. Check out the Next Round, Mystery Fifth Hour, and our other shows on your favorite podcast app. We'll meet you there.
Start your day online with our website, nextroundlive.com. The latest videos, podcasts, and college football stories. It's also a great way to stream the show or shop in the Next Round store. Stay connected by visiting nextroundlive.com. That's nextroundlive.com.
Since you listened to my last message so well and got rid of those cargo shorts and stained t-shirts, it's time to replace them with Rhoback. Go to Rhoback.com and click on the Refresh collection to find all that you need for an EG-approved wardrobe. It includes pieces that will have you ready to hit the golf course after a busy day of meetings or comfy favorites for travel and working from home. Get 20% off using code TNR20. See, I'm saving you some money. If you're looking to expand business and inform the Next Round audience about your exciting brand, contact us. Send an email to sales@nextroundlive.com to be a part of the team and advertise your product to hundreds of thousands of potential customers on our ever-expanding platform. Join our existing partners in the fastest-growing media space, both live and on demand, and reach the most desirable audience for your business. Get information and more by emailing sales@nextroundlive.com, and one of our team members will work with you to take your business to the next level with the Next Round.
Twin Peaks is the best in the game. Here, you're in the red zone for every college rivalry and divisional matchup all season long. I mean, where else are the scenic views as good as your view of the game? Only at Twin Peaks, the #1 sports bar.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now, code NEXTROUND, and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000. Plus, $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services to be performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Back with you on the next round. Before we get to the spotlight, I do want to point out one other thing that the NCAA, pretty major, the NCAA changed yesterday. You guys sitting down?
I am sitting down, Jim.
It is now
spilling my drink.
A legal rule that you can use, wait for it now,
okay.
NIL enticements, offers in recruiting to lure somebody on campus.
It's going to be the end of the game.
You don't have to wait until they sign with you to offer.
May as well shut it
We've
down.
never done that, right?
May as well shut down college football now.
This is the equivalent to me of that little 9-mile-per-hour buffer you get on the interstate. If I pass a police officer, if I'm doing 77 and a 70, I feel like he's going to let me go.
Do you believe in that?
I do. I really do. I bank on it.
Yeah, when I was a kid, the belief was that they set their radar guns like there was a 10-mile-per-hour interval or something, or no, they would set their gun and it would only go off if it was above wherever they set it, right?
Right.
And you could set it at 70 or 80. So if you're running 79, you'd be under the 80.
Did you ever have the radar? Didn't we call it the fuzz buster?
Oh, yeah, 100%. We had a fuzz buster.
For the kids, because we don't have that anymore.
Well, we got a different version of it. Waze has it.
Yeah.
And it's, I think, better.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that you're relying at that
I
point.
raw dog it, man. I don't know what's going on.
Yeah.
I just
you have a feel.
I feel it, man.
Yeah, you just feel it. I understand it.
I haven't had a ticket since.
Oh, I can't believe you.
I know.
Yeah,
Tyler, do you know what a fuzz buster is?
I won't say it out loud, but it's a long time.
One of those little radar detectors.
Yeah, radar detector, and you would have it on your dash, and it would run down into the cigarette lighter. This is the oldest sounding thing ever.
It really is.
A cigarette lighter, and it would go off on police radar. Go, the little thing would light up.
Yeah, but you know what was the flaw in that? You'd already been hit by the radar.
That's right. Radar
but it was
illegal.
illegal.
You were hoping they were getting.
Remember, it was illegal for a while. So if you did get pulled over, you better hide that thing.
So what they started doing was they made them so they would mount like right under the dash, so the police couldn't see them. But then there was the discussion: are they accurate still?
Yep.
My friend had one that mounted, I guess, like under where the ignition would be. So. Like it would be like
I wouldn't trust that one.
It would be like near his knee.
I'm telling you,
driving.
I almost never encounter a police officer that is not alerted to me by Waze.
Yeah. So basically, we're running a criminal ring where everyone is lookouts, self-reporting to all other humans, so that we can break the law on the road with Waze. That's what we're doing.
You know the flashing light when you pass a cop? That's been challenged in court, actually, because they will give a ticket for it, and it has been upheld under freedom of speech.
I would tell you, though, this is the equivalent, Brown, your little Waze there that I also use, of just having you stand on the corner while I rob the bank. You let me know if the popo's coming.
We all got to have advantages.
Same thing, right?
Yes.
Let's do the spotlight right here. College football. Hit it, man.
The College Football Spotlight.
And it's presented by our guy, Alexander Shinar, the Shinar Spotlight, every single day right here on the show. He's headquartered in Birmingham, 24 years. The firm's grown to more than 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've recovered more than $2 billion. The mission, creating a firm that could handle any issue Alexander's community face. He's done that. The firm now handles not only any personal injury claims for fire and storm damage, bad drug and device claims, disability, workers' compensation, and a host of other claims. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shinara trial attorney, Shinara.com. You pay nothing. unless they win your case.
Deion Sanders says he wants to be like the NFL is leading into their season. He wants to invite a team in and another team, practice for a couple of days to where you don't have to do scrimmages by yourself, and then play a spring game against that team. And then Fran Brown of Syracuse sends out the tweet last night, I'm in. We'll come to Boulder and spend 3 days there. I'm in. And that way we'll have a combined practice, little combined scrimmage, and then we'll play a spring game against each other. Now we'll see if the NCAA stops, if these guys are serious about it. Good idea or bad idea? We see it in the NFL all the time. It's where the best fights happen.
That's what I was about to say, boy. You talk about getting chippy, and it will not change at this level. I don't mind it. I think it would be interesting at least for a while.
This was our old AM 690 idea way back in the day. Like, spring games are pretty boring. What if Alabama and Oklahoma played a spring game? What if Auburn and Miami played a spring game? We discussed this way back in the day. Would that spice things up? If it was an actual game, and you could agree quarterbacks are off limits. You could agree, we're going to play ones-on-ones first half. We're going to go to our twos second half. You can have all these agreements so you get something out of it, but that'd be better than a normal spring game. Now, I never envisioned a day where spring games would die, and that's what's about to happen.
It's dying. The combined practices where they actually can control this. We're going to run goal line here, everybody.
Well, why do it in the spring? Why not do it like the NFL does leading up to the season?
I would say because of the availability of players. You have a bigger roster than they do in the NFL.
Yep. You could be again. Quarterbacks are going to be off limits in these practices.
How long is it going to be before Colorado brings in, I don't know, let's say Oklahoma, just randomly?
But I mean, what if?
And then you're Deion, and you're like, man, I really like that cornerback. How long is it going to be before you're actually cherry picking players in these practices from the other team?
Georgia Tech's not on Alabama's schedule, right? They're not on Alabama's schedule this year. What if Georgia Tech came to Tuscaloosa for 3 days this summer? They had practices together on all those practice fields Alabama's got, and then they played a closed scrimmage in the stadium or on the practice field or whatever. I mean, to me, that would seem very, very beneficial to getting your team ready for the season.
Deion wants to put it on television, thinks ESPN would broadcast it. We'll see if anything comes of that. Just thought that was interesting. That is the Spotlight today, brought to you by Alexander Shinara.
Yeah, don't forget, when you need a trial attorney, Alexander Shinara Trial Attorneys is where you start. Shinara.com. You pay nothing unless they win your case with our guy, Alexander Shinara, Shinara.com.
And we're heading back to our NCAA tournament talk, being brought to you by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. I'll remind you, before Brown tells you about mybookie.ag, off of Alexander Shinara first, right now, up playing today because we've got a game up for tonight. You can go play the Shinara Showdown. That right there is on our website, nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, the Daily Spread Challenge. Go click on that icon and play. It's against the point spread. If you win, it's free. It's free. And if you play and you win, you're into the drawing for, basically hard, cold money in the form of a card. And we'll have that loaded up for you, and you'll be able to spend some hard-earned cash right there. And you do it every day to go into the drawing. You just get one hit, one winner, you're in. And you don't have to play every day, I should say. You just get in there and when you can, get a winner, and then you're in the drawing. The more times you win, the better chance you have of winning the drawing, though. It's happening with the Shinara Showdown. Also, our friends at MyBookie bring you the Bracket Challenge. Next Round Live Bracket Challenge, powered by MyBookie, mybookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. And you can go there now and play with real winners of real viewers on the show. Not some national contest and not some $1 million giveaway that nobody's ever win. You can win really cool stuff right there at nextroundlive.com.
Do you have game locations, site locations for the games anywhere? Do either one of you have
those?
those?
I think I do.
Yeah.
VCU BYU, I believe, is in Denver. Am I correct about that?
That is a Denver game.
It's an altitude game.
It is. And who do you think that would impact more in this game? VCU or BYU? Yeah, and VCU flying halfway across the country to play in that. That's interesting. I was just looking at that game.
VCU is a sexy upset pick in the first round. Coming up in the next hour, we will do a blind test of upsets. Gary Parrish has VCU upsetting Alabama.
I saw him. He's got him in the Final Four, doesn't he?
No, he got
Elite Eight?
Elite Eight.
Elite Eight?
Losing in the Elite Eight.
BYU a 3-point favorite in that game, by the way. Keep an eye on that one. Altitude game. Well,
only 3.
Altitude game, Lance. VCU having to fly across America to play a Thursday, and I think VCU, did they play all the way through Sunday? They won their conference tournament. I think that was a Sunday game.
It was a Sunday game.
Yeah, so, all right, we're playing a Sunday game. We're flying from Richmond to Denver to play at altitude against a team that plays at altitude all the time who's already pretty good. I like BYU there, -3.
I'll tell you, I like VCU there.
Okay, we're opposite on that game, Jim.
Yeah, I do too.
You like VCU?
Yeah, and I will tell you that
early lead for me when VCU's in the second half of the goal.
Yeah.
You remember I brought this up, okay?
Yeah, they were tired because they played on Sunday.
I had to go all the way across country. They're playing at elevation.
But as the really excited girl on the streets outside of Bridgestone, when we were walking one night, said to me at the SEC tournament, it's March. I'll sleep in April. That was her quote. I went,
all right.
You got it.
All right.
I'm actually heading back to the rack right now in my hotel.
I'm going to sleep tonight.
I'm sleeping right now, my friend.
Georgia, 6-point dog against Gonzaga in the first round. Tennessee, a 19-point favorite over the Wofford Terriers in round 1. Kansas is a 4.5-point favorite over Arkansas. Texas A&M, a 7-point favorite over the Yale Bulldogs. Missouri, a 6.5-point favorite over Drake. All of those games are night 1 from the SEC. Day 2 from the SEC, Mississippi State currently a 1.5-point favorite over Baylor. The Crimson Tide, a 23-point favorite over Robert Morris. Florida, a 29-point favorite over Norfolk State. Kentucky, an 11-point favorite over the Troy Trojans. I'm told, Oklahoma, a 5-point dog to UConn. I'm told in my ear here, they're telling me from backstage, there is no Auburn point spread yet because they don't know who they're playing. That's what they're telling me from backstage,
correct.
guys.
The way to correct yesterday's
no Auburn
problem.
point spread yesterday.
Yeah.
All right, all those games at mybookie.ag. Code next round. When you sign on, you get that 50% sign-on bonus up to $1,000 and a $10 casino chip. With code next round, mybookie.ag, code next round. Mybookie.ag, code next round. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with mybookie.ag.
And our friends at New York Butcher Shop, LT.
New York Butcher Shop, great place. Stop by, see our man Jim, that great staff of butchers there. You can pick up the finest when it comes to the ribs, all of the incredible steaks. Of course, they've got the deli sandwiches. They're absolutely huge for lunch or dinner. Sit out on the patio, enjoy some of the spring weather. Also fantastic sides to go. Great selection of fine wines and desserts. One-stop shop, rear quality, well-done service. 2 locations, Cava Heights, Highway 119 in Greystone. It is the New York Butcher Shop.
Everybody hopes they get a chance to play on this floor at the Alamo Dome. But here's what the court is going to look like down in San Antonio. That's the way it will look. You hope that's obviously a rendering. They don't have the real floor down yet because it's still almost a month away, 3 weeks away. But
also looks kind of small. That's not life size.
That is the way it will look down at the Alamo Dome. The road ends here in San Antonio.
I love San Antonio. Been there once. Really cool city, so it'd be a great place for any fan to end up.
And by the way, a little Tennessee orange there.
There's some Tennessee orange in that. Better than the Big 12 floor for sure.
Yep.
They didn't go crazy there. I kind of like it.
Traditional. So there you go. That's what it would look like.
Winner gets it. Winner gets to take it home with them, too. Don't forget.
You do. Auburn, Alabama hope to be playing on that floor at some point. 14 SEC teams hope to be there as well down in San Antonio. The South Alabama story from yesterday, we have not commented on that, where the NCAA basically effed it up. There's a lot of tournaments now, and we'll get to a new one here in a second that really started to jack things up. But the NIT field was getting turned down by a lot of people. There were programs that usually choose to play, like Rutgers, who had earned a way to miss the NCAA tournament but good enough to be in the NIT, but they have, they're the first team ever with 2 top 5 draft picks to not make the NCAA tournament, or 2 top 5 recruits not to make the NCAA tournament. Those kids are off to the NBA most likely. We're not going to play in the NIT. Rutgers says no thank you. Some people said no thank you. There's the CBI, and there's a new thing called the Crown. South Alabama got a call from the NCAA at 9:30 and said, hey, you guys are in.
All right. Fire up the plane.
Then they got it. And he told the coach, told his players, Richie Riley, said, hey, we're in, man. We're going to the NIT. After he told his players, the NCAA called back and said, hey, we screwed up. The team we thought was going to the CBI actually is coming to the NIT, and you guys are now uninvited. It's the national uninvited tournament for you.
Okay, you guys help jog my memory. This is Steve Harvey when he announced the wrong winner at the at the beauty pageant or whatever.
Yep. And then who was it? Was it Warren Beatty that announced the wrong winner at the Academy Awards?
Best Picture.
Best Picture, yeah.
Yeah, see, that's a little bit different because that's somebody just – I mean, once this is out there and you're invited from the committee, you can't rescind this.
Yeah.
Can't do it.
Dan Gavitt says, hey, when we released it, we thought one team was participating in a non-NCAA tournament, the CBI. Turns out they're going to be in ours, so we regrettably rescind our invitation to South Alabama. We understand the emotional impact this confusion created, and we sincerely apologize to South Alabama head coach Richie Riley and all the student-athletes for this error. To which Richie Riley says, a meaningless apology to the most meaningful group of players I've ever coached. What they did to us last night is inexcusable. These guys in our locker room don't deserve this, and it's sad your idea of making it right is a copy and paste apology.
Yeah.
Exclamation.
He really
scorched
him. He scorched him deservedly so. Yep, deservedly so.
So are they going to go to the CBI now?
I do not have a follow-up on that.
I mean, I would want them to continue to play basketball now.
Oh, I agree with you. I'd be pulling for them. I don't know how the financials work in the CBI. At one point, I thought you had to pay to get into that thing.
I think you do. You pay to play.
You pay to play in it, and you try to make your money back on ticket sales. And concessions and whatnot.
Fox has started a new tournament, which is pulling away from the NIT. We don't care about the NIT. We definitely don't care about the CBI, and I really don't have any interest in this either. But this, the new one, for money in Vegas, the Crown, which starts this year, is not a joke. It really is a tournament. Is a better field than NIT because what? It's in Vegas and there's money involved.
That's right.
So they're taking what they do in the preseason where Alabama played this year and they're paying the players and some people to come play in the Crown. It'll be on FS1 and Maine Fox, the Crown Championship Tournament, where you have Utah, you got Butler, you got Boise, you got Nebraska, you got Arizona State, you got Cincinnati, you got UCF, you got Colorado and Villanova. USC is there, Tulane's there. You got a better bracket than the NIT has.
Well, and as you said, it's all about money. So there is that. I don't know if you guys have ever caught yourself watching the $1 million tournament. That's almost like a Hoop It Up on ESPN.
I have not.
And you'll have like a former team of just St. John's players.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, and you'll know some of these guys, but
like Coach Hodge coached when he was assistant at Alabama. He coached the former Buffalo player.
Yeah, and I just thought I think it's so interesting because second place gets nothing. So it's like all in. It's either you win the $1 million and you share it amongst the whole team, or nobody gets anything. And there's something intriguing about that.
Yeah, the issue of this tournament is going to be this thing's played. The game I'm about to reference is not played until April 1st. So you still got what's today, the 18th. So you still got 2 full weeks. Villanova's already fired their coach. And I don't know. I'm assuming portal windows aren't open yet because the NCAA tournament's still going on. It would be just like the NCAA to open the portal during the NCAA tournament.
There's players sitting in the portal every day. I got a list of them.
So what does Villanova have left? Are they going to field a team in this thing? I guess if you're playing for money, you're more likely to stick around.
But I likely do not care about this, just like I don't care about the NIT.
Oh, you don't have to add likely to it. I absolutely don't care.
But Jack State does play in the NIT tonight. Congratulations to them. They play Georgia Tech, 6 o'clock on ESPN2 in that contest. When we come back, I'll ask these guys some potential. These are not all upset picks that I'll even make. I've taken these 9. These 9, you'll need 1 to 9 on your dry erase board, guys. I've taken these 9 potential first-round upsets. Some national person I read has at least picked this. So these are not, at least somebody has pulled an upset.
So we're going to go blind ranking on these 9 upsets.
Yeah, and I'll just call them out in random order, and you tell me, is it the most likely upset at 1? And these are all not necessarily betting odds, but they are higher seeds against lower seeds. 12s and 5s, 13s and 4s.
So it's not a betting odd upset, it's a seed upset.
That's right.
Gotcha.
That's right. So we'll do that when we come back. The show being brought to you by tremendous people like our friends at Hemphill. Tell us about Hemphill.
They are tremendous. Adam, Chad, Andrew, the guys there awaiting your call. If you have any issues when it comes to plumbing, cooling, heating issues, home or business, ready to serve you. 205-229-2090. Hard to stop a train. For more information, hemphillservices.com.
Don't forget Alabama Power is there keeping your power on and making sure you're getting the best rates possible there with Alabama Power. But Some of that is going to be you paying maybe a little bit of attention to what your bill looks like every single month. And you can do that with Alabama Power. They help you do it, guys. My Power Usage Tool is the name of the tool. It helps you track how much energy you're using and when. It's a great way to spot patterns and avoid surprises. Plus, Alabama Power offers easy tips to help you save. Visit alabamapower.com/mypowerusage to learn how to manage your usage and keep cost in check with Alabama Power.
Follow The Next Round on Twitter, Instagram, and Facebook at Next Round Live.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
What a great time of year to be online with our friends at mybookie.ag, mybookie.ag, where right now you get a major current sign-up bonus, a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip when using the code NEXTROUND. That's code NEXTROUND. We're talking about all the madness of March, the NBA playoff race, the start of Major League Baseball, and it's all for you right now online when using the code NEXTROUND. Go sign up today, mybookie.ag, code NEXTROUND. Remember the name Way to Wellness if you're battling weight loss in your life. I'm Jim Dunaway from The Next Round. There was a time I was over 216 pounds until Way to Wellness helped me lose 45 pounds, and now for over 2 years, they've helped me keep that weight off. Here's their website, aplanforme.com, aplanforme.com. That's a great name for a website because there's no cookie cutter plan. Everything is designed specifically for you. No contract, no sign-up fees, and your first consultation is free at Way to Wellness.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop. Rare quality, well-done service.
Just because you've quit going to the gym, it doesn't mean that you have to quit gym altogether. Dunaway, that is. With our Next Round podcasts open 24/7, 365, you can access gym anytime you'd like. While you may have done away with your treadmill routine, our version of Dunaway is standing by ready to get you back to your absolute best. Find all that lovely Jimmy D-led content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and in the podcast section of nextroundlive.com. This message is sponsored by Jimmy Crypto Inc. and Jimmy Crypto for President.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Jim Dunaway, Lance Taylor, Ryan Brown. Live from the Birmingham Racecourse Casino Studios, The Next Round, presented by Bud Light, is on now.
Okay, we'll get to 4 downs in a minute. But first, we're gonna talk upsets in the first round. I will say first, don't let me influence you on these upset picks.
Oh, you're putting your glasses on those, so Jim, I have got to listen to this.
Yeah, this is serious, but
okay,
we will simulate some potential first round upsets here.
Okay,
but it's only a simulation.
So I don't put these on my board.
You put them on your board,
okay,
yes, but do not actually put them in your bracket.
Okay,
it's only a simulation.
All right,
it's only a simulation.
Okay.
In fact, if we had flashing red lights right now to indicate it's a simulation,
right? This is only a simulation.
It's only a simulation. That would be fine too. But the bracket that we want you to fill out after we talk about these upsets is at nextroundlive.com. Nextroundlive.com. It's presented by our friends at MyBookie, mybookie.ag. You jump in there, and you have the opportunity to win real prizes here locally. That includes a lot of store credit in our beautiful shop where you get great T-shirts and hoodies and hats and such like that. But also your sports room can change with an overall winner there, and just the bragging rights of being our champion. And you see the clock is ticking down up there, countdown to tip off, and those pick deadlines are due at Next Round Live, the bracket challenge presented by our friends at mybookie.ag, promo code NEXTROUND. Just go to nextroundlive.com. Now, starting today, there's a game for you to play right now. It is the Shannara Showdown. LT, tell everybody about that.
Yeah, again, we're going to do a daily pick, so it'll obviously be a day when there's an active game. We've got the play-in tonight, play-in tomorrow. We'll have Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday action. But every single day we will have a standalone game. You go to the website, Next Round Live, you find the Shannara Showdown, you link in, and you just pick a side. You play the game based on the spread, much like we do the pick three. You win, we put you in a drawing, and somebody's going to win $1,000, somebody's going to win $500, somebody's going to win $250. That simple, right there at nextroundlive.com, brought to you by our friends at Shannara.
Okay, so I made a mistake last year. I did not have any Champy's chicken as I was filling out my bracket. I will change that. I will eat smart food at Champy's Chicken starting today. I'll swing by there. And
I've heard Mississippi tamales are brain food.
Yeah, exactly. And I will fill my bracket out after eating the brain food. This hour brought to you by our friends at Champy's Chicken on Highway 119 in Alabaster. It makes you smarter when it comes to filling out your bracket. The chicken's brined overnight, and then it's cooked to order, much like an upset is that we're about to talk about. Sterling is ready for March Madness. He's got the best food. Highway 119 in Alabaster, champyschicken.com. Okay.
All right.
Random order.
Here we go.
Random order.
Blind ranking here.
Yep. But these are double digits, upsetting single digits.
All right.
All right. 1 most likely, 9 least likely of these upsets.
All right.
Liberty upsetting Oregon in round 1. Liberty over Oregon. Where do you put it?
I am putting it at number 6. I had the Flames this weekend as they had the conference championship that was delayed in Huntsville. But again, Oregon, Dana Altman is a veteran, savvy veteran of this tournament. We talked about some of the success he had with the Final Four run. They've got a legit 7-footer in Nate Biddle. They've won 8 of 9 games. It seems like it's coming together. Oregon doesn't have a great resume, but let's not forget, they beat Alabama. They beat Texas A&M. I don't think they're losing to the Flames, but I'll still put them at 6. I'll leave a little on the backside.
7. I like Dana Altman, think he's a good coach. Oregon, a tested team in the Big Ten. I got 7 here for Liberty, Oregon.
Yeah, and I do think Liberty is playing on Sunday, too, and it's hard to...
They played Saturday night, but it was
okay.
like Lance said, I mean, they probably got home quite late because, unfortunately, tornadoes are coming through the area and downpours, and
yeah, might as well have played Sunday morning.
Yeah, the Von Braun Civic Center had a leak, so that was a very late game.
A team Alabama fans are familiar with, Grand Canyon upsetting Maryland. Grand Canyon upsetting Maryland. Your confidence level there?
Oh, look, the Antelopes obviously have a little experience and had an opportunity to take it to the Sweet 16. I'm going 8, though.
That's where I put them.
Yep.
Lance and I are being cautious so
Maryland,
far.
Maryland's a legit team.
Cautious.
They're not deep. They're not deep. And
but depth has helped in this tournament because of the long TV timeouts.
That's what I'm told. They're not deep, Brownie. Grand Canyon's got a couple of guys who could play in the league.
Are you going to tell me
they could play in the ballet, is what Fred used to tell me.
Yeah, but have you seen Derek Queen from Maryland? I mean, dude is legit.
No, he is good too.
And there's a reason that Maryland is a double-digit favorite.
I thought you were going to tell me Grand Canyon is deep.
Yeah.
It's known for its depth, Jim.
Yes.
It's quite grand.
I haven't felt great about any of these upsets yet.
I'm 7-8. I almost went Grand Canyon 9th, Lance.
I almost did too.
You almost did, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Next up is Drake over Missouri. Drake over Missouri.
I'm going to put Drake at 4.
I do too.
Yeah, I've heard a lot about this Drake team that won 30 games and the great defense they play. Half of their opponents have scored 60 or less. But you look at Missouri, they like to score, and Missouri is finally healthy.
It's a contrast in styles in this game. If you like teams that have been together a long time, veteran lineups, kind of similar to what we used to get with Butler when they would be in the Final Four, this is that Drake team. They got a bunch of guys that have played a lot of basketball together.
Now, Missouri has lost 5 of 7 coming into this tournament, but it's a little bit different than they lost their final 19 games of last year. I do think this Missouri team could explode at any moment. Not going to be shocked if they lose this game, but I'm going to have it at number 4.
At one point, maybe still betting favorite Colorado State over Memphis. Where do you put Colorado State beating Memphis?
This is the old Vegas knows something I don't know.
Yeah, I'm doing Colorado State at number 3.
Go 2. I'm going to go 2.
Yeah, I'm going to go 3 because they are favored in this matchup. This is a Colorado State team that is good. I don't know how good they are.
Yeah.
But they are favored in this 12-5, and you don't see the 12 favored a lot. But Neek Clifford is a 6'6" guard that can do absolutely everything. One of the reasons they won the Mountain West. So I'm going to go Colorado State at number 3, and we don't consider this an upset because they're favored.
Yeah, I went 2, and again,
I was just going by big seed.
Yeah, this is the old Vegas knows something we don't know, that the 12 is favored over the 5.
UC San Diego over Michigan.
I'm going to go 5 on this one. It's a very popular upset pick.
So the Tritons, 15 straight wins, longest right now in basketball. They start 5 upperclassmen. They are the 7th lowest turnover ratio in college basketball right now. They do a lot of things right, but Michigan, man, is clicking. I don't know why this number's 2.5. Again, Vegas, I'm going to put it at 5 too.
I got them at number 5, and I even drew a little Triton.
Yeah, I'll tell you this. I was going to have San Diego in my bracket to win the game. Don't think I am now, for whatever that matters.
Because everybody's talking about it.
It is a very popular pick.
It is popular.
Yeah.
And it's San Diego, very good team.
One of 26 schools that have both a men's and women's team in the NCAA tournament, including Alabama. High Point upsetting Purdue. High Point over Purdue.
I'm going to go 7 just because this is maybe the trendiest of picks. For the first round.
Hence me having it at number 1. Here's one reason I go number 1. This is a trendy pick. There's no doubt it's a trendy pick. And I may or may not have it in my bracket. I'm going to just go ahead and say this doesn't mean I got High Point winning this thing. If later on my bracket comes out and I've got Purdue winning, don't flash back to this segment.
Well, I mean, are you lying to me now or are you lying to me later?
Well, you just asked, for me to rank them blindly here. First game out on Thursday. There is almost always an upset in that early Thursday window, and we looked at it yesterday. The only one you can even really talk yourself into being an upset is High Point Purdue.
Well, I will say this. So Purdue, obviously, Braden Smith is one of the best guards in college basketball. Alabama fans know this for a game back in December. Guy can absolutely play, but Purdue doesn't have – they've got a presence in the paint, but it ain't like Zach Edey. But High Point can score, man. This is an elite offense. They're 10th in three-point shooting. So they could shoot their way into the Sweet 16 or they could shoot their way out of round number 1. I am going to play Purdue here, though. So I've got High Point way down at 7.
Yeah, for those that don't know, your early window is going to include Auburn, right? That's 11:4. What's the exact tip time for Auburn on Thursday?
I don't have it down in front of me. I think it's 11:45.
11:45. I thought it was 40 or 45. I can't remember the exact tip time. So Auburn's going to be in that window, but again, that's going to be a 116, right? Your possibilities for the upset in that early window that I feel like you almost always get. Louisville's only a 2.5-point favorite over Creighton. Purdue's an 8-point favorite. Wisconsin's a 17-point favorite. Houston's a 29-point favorite. Those are kind of your early window games. This is the only one.
So you're just banking on it.
I'm just banking on it. We get it almost every year. I'm going to go High Point here.
But he's not going to have it in his bracket, he says.
I said I might not.
Okay. Akron upsetting Arizona. Akron, Arizona.
I'm going to go 6.
Yeah, I will tell you the Zips were not a popular play last night at the Calcutta.
Does that affect you?
No, it doesn't, but it is interesting. I don't want to go 9. I am going to go 9.
150, by the way, for the Auburn game. I don't know why I had 1150 in my mind. 150.
I don't love the Arizona team, but they're a 14-point favorite. And people are on the Zips plus 14. So
okay. I got Akron number 6, very low.
There's a long space between playing Akron at plus 14 to cover and playing them to win.
Yes.
Big difference. And first of all, I'll probably play Arizona to cover the 14.
Yeah, but I'm just saying that there are people that do get confused and they're filling out the bracket. Everyone, you may be going to a gambling site and they're like, I love Akron. Well, they're not talking Akron money line for you to move them out of your bracket. They love Akron to be inside the 14.
Yeah.
So be careful when you're doing that as you fill out your bracket if you're new to this bracket game.
Boy, I hope you got some ones that I really don't like at all because I've got 1 and 2 saved.
Well, I've got 3rd and 9, so I don't know.
Yale upsetting Texas A&M. Yale upsetting Texas A&M.
Not saying I'm going to pick it, but I'm going to have to go Yale number 3 right here.
I am going Yale number 2. I mean, look, Yale, you heard Stephen Pearl. I mean, this is a team that's got the experience. They beat Auburn last year. Probably a better team this year.
Would you be willing to say right now which game you've held number 1 for? I'm just curious because you don't know what Jim's going to bring.
Yeah, I have
you
no
don't
idea.
have a game in mind.
And Yale has won 16 of 17.
Yeah.
So this is a red-hot Bulldogs team.
So you're not holding that number 1 spot for a game you absolutely love.
No, but I think it's going to work out for me.
Okay.
VCU over BYU.
I just told you, it's terrible.
It does work out for me.
Terrible pick.
I love it.
Play Sunday, fly cross country. They got to climb that mountain and then play up there in that altitude.
Mountain.
They wouldn't even be able to breathe at halftime.
Yeah, here's what I would say, though.
Gets run. And you know how
Kevin Young in year 1 has done a really, really good job. It's such a fun style to watch. It's exactly what Mark Pope was doing. But Richie Saunders is a first all Big Ten performer or all Big 12 performer. You think about, so Kevin Young in year 1, he's bringing in the number 1. What are they paying the kid, $8 million next year?
Yes.
Yeah. So, BYU basketball hadn't even arrived for the fans yet. I think BYU could shoot their way out of this game, so I think VCU with their good defense.
It's such a bad matchup for VCU.
Because of the altitude?
They play, a lot of things. They played Sunday. They've got to fly cross country. BYU was out Friday in their tournament, if memory serves, the Big 12 semifinals Friday.
Maybe Saturday.
Maybe Saturday. They've only got to fly 45 minutes from Provo.
They might take horse and buggy, right?
They might take horse and buggy. You never know. VCU's got to fly all the way across country, cross 2 time zones, get to that high altitude, and
in a covered wagon.
And Jim, play a team that likes to move it. I mean, they're not going to go up there and play St. Mary's, who's going to stand around and play 4 corners and burn the shot clock. They're going to play a team that gets up and down the court in that altitude. This is a terrible matchup for VCU. In fact, VCU got punished to play this game. They deserve better. The committee actually punished them by winning their conference tournament to play this game. They deserve better.
3 that I didn't put in there because I just didn't think you had room to go 12. I didn't put McNeese over Clemson.
I'd have gone low on that one.
You'd gone low on that one?
Real low.
Real low on that one. Are either of the winners in the play-in game? Winner Texas Xavier over Illinois, where would you put that one, low or high?
I don't know. I mean, you look at
Illinois has been a little enigmatic, haven't they?
First 4 has won a first-round game in 12 of the last 13 tournaments. So I don't know if it's going to be UNC, San Diego State, Xavier, or Texas, but one of those teams more than likely will advance.
And that was the other one, San Diego State, North Carolina over Ole Miss. I didn't put that one on there either. But that's a little blind upset conversation there as we do it on Instagram style there, where you just get a random list and you rank the confidence as they come out in a random order. The show brought to you today, before we get to 4 downs, by our friends at Michelson Laser Vision. Tell us about Michelson, LT.
Yeah, make that phone call, 205-969-8100. Dr. Mark Michelson, true pioneer in the business, first to perform the LASIK procedure in the state of Alabama way back in 1995. Who won the national championship in 1995?
Oh, that would be UConn.
No, that was Arkansas.
Nope.
No, Arkansas was 94. 95 was...
I'll give you a hint. He later coached at Georgia.
Oh, UCLA with Jim Herrick.
That's right.
Yeah.
That's it.
The great Mark Gottfried.
But that was think about how long ago that was.
It's been a long time.
Yeah, a long time ago. That's when Dr. Mark Michelson was perfecting his craft. I got the procedure done over 2 decades ago. 2015 vision, better than 2020. Again, make the phone call that I made, conveniently located at UAB Highlands, 205-969-8100 or michelsonlaservision.com.
And 4 Downs presented each day by Bojangles. If you're tired of choosing between sweet and savory, why not have both with Bojangles? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and Bowberry waffles. Signature Cajun chicken filet drizzled with a Bowberry glaze sandwich between 2 warm waffles and available for a limited time. Boy, that looks good. I mean, that looks tremendous. It's bow time.
First down.
At current job longer, Chris Beard at Ole Miss or Rick Barnes at Tennessee?
Chris Beard at Ole Miss. I kind of buy into this. Rick Barnes is going to retire. I didn't know the whole thing was Zakai Ziegler is kind of...
It's weird, but...
Yeah.
But
I guess I could see it.
I respect it.
I do too. I mean, he's obviously been a hugely important player for Barnes and for Tennessee.
But I guess you could lose this, Brown, on your answer there if Beard left Ole Miss and went to Tennessee.
That is true.
Now,
that's a good point.
Yeah, Clay brought that up. I mean, if I am Tennessee, I mean, that's exactly who I would go after. But do you think if you're Beard, do you need to carve a couple of years for Ole Miss just because of loyalty? I mean, what do you guys think on that?
Well, he's second year now, and this is the 10th NCAA tournament in 115 years of basketball at Ole Miss.
Yeah.
That's not a lot.
It's the 10th, you said?
10th time Ole Miss has been in the NCAA tournament.
First time since 2019.
Yeah.
I mean, would you say, all right, let me say if I'm from the Beard perspective here and you're like, okay.
But I'll be shocked if he's ever not in the tournament.
From the Beard perspective, you owe them a debt of loyalty. Could you say if you're on Beard's side, I got you back in the top 25, you're a 6th seed in the NCAA tournament. It's only the 10th tournament you've ever been to. I've restored your program. That is my debt of loyalty.
Maybe.
I appreciate you guys hiring me, but look what I'm leaving behind.
But if I'm Ole Miss, I'm like, damn, so you're going to leave us and go win conference?
You know.
I mean, at least pick a job outside of the SEC.
Go to Indiana.
He's going to say, did you guys see what I did at Texas Tech? I did the exact same thing. You knew what you were hiring.
Yeah. I think Barnes will be there longer. I don't think he's retiring. And I think Beard will move on sooner. I say 2 more years Barnes, 1 more year to Beard.
Yeah, I think Beard is probably a year or 2 more, unless he does something crazy at Ole Miss. I mean, if this team went on like an Elite 8 run, of course, he left Texas Tech after playing for a national championship. That was his dream job at Texas. Yeah. So,
if for some reason Auburn doesn't go with Stephen Pearl, what an attractive job that has become.
Oh, for Auburn?
With the fan base and everything, and their commitment with the school to NIL and recruiting.
No. Well, and that's another thing that Beard could look at. Look at what Bruce Pearl has done, staying loyal to that program, building,
All due respect, they don't feel they're building up at Ole Miss like they do.
Yeah, but if they started winning to that level, they might. I mean, hell, they ain't got nothing to cheer for in football.
Good point.
Second down.
Queen Latifah, 55 years old today. Weird celebrity birthdays. Better career, Queen Latifah or Joe Flacco?
So help me with Queen Latifah here. I know she was the Equalizer, which, great line in the chat room. Bobby used to always say is the best comedy on TV. Queen Latifah is the Equalizer.
Yeah, which is like leather pants on a size 12 flying around on a motorcycle.
But she is well respected in the rap singing
world,
right?
Is she?
Unity, I think, was kind of her. There might be more, but she kind of transitioned out of music early on to do the acting. Like, she was in House Guest forever ago with Steve Martin, like back in the 90s. So she's been doing the acting thing for a long time. I mean, Jeeves can tell us back there when she kind of transitioned out of music, but I don't think she does a lot of music now.
But she used to, is all I'm saying.
I'm not seeing hardly any music. It looks like pretty much as soon as the 2000s hit, she transitioned purely into acting, other than a couple of soundtrack
she is a
features.
Queen, though, and that's...
But she knighted?
She is not knighted.
Oh, okay.
So.
But Flacco does have a Super Bowl ring, and it was one of the best road quarterbacks in postseason history.
Yep. Widely regarded, though, as a game manager playing to his defense.
Boy, had a live arm, man. Had a cannon. I am going to lean Flacco.
I'm going to go Flacco here over Queen Latifah. Yeah.
But Queen Latifah to be cast as the Equalizer is pretty amazing. How her agent sold that.
I mean, how CBS bought it. How CBS is like, God, we need somebody for the Equalizer.
But it's still
Queen
on,
Latifah?
right?
I did never know until the only time I know what's on CBS is during the golf NCAA tournament and the NFL.
You know the actor Adam Goldberg, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's a really good character actor, but he's like one of the, because I see him in the commercials for it, he's one of the, I guess one of the regulars in the Equalizer. But can you imagine, you go from being on set with Spielberg in one of the great movies of all time, Saving Private Ryan, and if you would have told him 30 years later you're going to be, the credits are going to roll and you're going to be behind Queen Latifah. I don't think he thought his acting career would go that direction.
Do you know, sadly, her most download hit on Spotify
is what?
Is a collaboration with people like Bynes and Zac Efron from Hairspray. You Can't Stop the Beat. That's her most downloadable. Like if you go to Queen Latifah page on Spotify, her most download song is a soundtrack acting basically.
Is UNITY number 2?
It is number 2, but half the downloads at the Hairspray song.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Apparently, The Equalizer with Queen Latifah is in its 5th season.
Okay, good for
Boy,
Queen.
that is an upset right there.
Did you like Denzel's Equalizer?
I mean, is the Equalizer going to make it longer than Hugh Freeze at Auburn?
That's a future question.
Boy, if I would have asked that in 4 downs, there was no way.
Did you like Denzel's Equalizer? Did you like the movie?
Yeah, I thought the first one was really good. The second, third were okay.
Yeah.
Third
down.
Sticking with music, Adam Levine, 46 years old today. Better career, Adam Levine or Ryan Sandberg?
I mean, Sandberg's a beloved Cub. How does Sandberg rank among the rest of the major league?
He was a great player for a while.
A stud, Hall of Famer. He was in the 80s. He was the man. Ryan Sandberg.
Yeah,
Sandberg's in the Hall of Fame.
Yeah, I think he's a top 10, top 15 second baseman of all time.
Yeah, and that gets you in the Hall of Fame.
Well, I mean, there's only 9 positions.
Been playing since the 1800s.
I mean, a lot of second basemen have rolled through.
Yeah. National Baseball Hall of Fame 2005.
I would say he's got 300 plus home runs.
9 Gold Gloves. So he dominated the Gold Glove at second. You think he's got 300 homers?
Yeah, right.
282. Yeah, so you're close. Yep. All-time 285 hitter.
Who was the catcher on that team when he would hit a home
Jody
run?
Davis.
Jody Davis.
Jody Davis.
And Kerry would sing when he hit a home run, right? Like, Jody Davis.
I don't remember that guy.
I don't remember that either.
I didn't know, he was just acting like my old man back in the day. I didn't realize what was going on.
Yeah, that's why he would sing. There's some kind of song he'd sing. That 80s team, I can remember, forget what year it was, TV geek here, but their theme song as the broadcast would start on WGN was Panama.
The Van Halen song?
Van Halen.
Panama.
No.
That was their
What was the other song that was popular Van Halen right now? Jump. It was Jump.
Okay.
2 totally different songs. Yeah.
Jump. How did Jump go?
And they'd have that electric, visual effects.
Cubs. Jump.
And you'd have the Hawk laying out for a ball or something.
And Sandberg, Rhino jumping and grabbing one. Yeah.
Sean Dunston.
That was a fun
backhanding
team.
one. The 6-hole
team.
Yeah.
A lot of day games. They were good that year.
I
Gracie at first.
I would get so worn down watching the Cubs, though. I was like, damn, I want to watch the Dodgers. And now I can watch the Dodgers, and I really never do.
Is it possible Ron Say was on that team at third base?
Possibly, yeah.
What is the what's my comparison here with Sandberg?
That would be Adam Levine,
Adam
who
Levine.
has obviously had one of the more successful top 40 groups.
Yeah,
and did play a Super Bowl halftime.
Yeah.
And probably the only guy to take his shirt off Super Bowl halftime.
Sandberg for me.
Well, I guess Janet Jackson took hers off.
That's true. JT kind of did. Well, I tell you, my favorite Adam Levine song is, I think it was Howard Stern's birthday or something like that. And
This is getting weird. Here we go.
No. It was on. I mean, it was televised. It wasn't televised. It's on YouTube. He and Pat Monahan do Purple Rain, and Levine absolutely shreds the guitar solo of Purple Rain. You've never seen that?
I've never seen him play guitar.
Tyler?
Never seen it.
But I am going to go. I think I'm going to lean Adam Levine.
Yeah, it's if you like Purple Rain. Now, I'm going to just be honest with you. Pat Monahan kind of screws it up.
Oh, you're not as good as Prince?
No, Pat Monahan. I think Levine's fantastic in it. He can pull it off. Monahan was kind of a weird. It was like, we got these two guys here. They're going to perform together. You could have just done Levine by himself. But boy, the guitar part, Levine is fantastic.
Does our man John Walker look like Pat Monahan?
He does. Absolutely.
You mean it's almost like Vince Gill singing the Eagles?
Again, I mean, Levine was fantastic. I'm just saying Monahan did one little part and messed it up. He didn't do the whole song.
Okay.
All right.
4th down.
I don't know if you guys realize this. March 18th is National Awkward Moments Day.
Well, we live it every day here.
I was going to say, from me asking Ian if his old man was dead, what is the most awkward moment in our show history? And the back room probably knows this better because we're like in the middle of the action.
That one with Ian was definitely awkward in the moment.
Yeah, fun awkward though.
Yeah,
that smoothed over immediately.
Yeah, well, I mean, it didn't shake me up.
At least we know. I mean, we've known Ian for 100 years.
Right.
If that had been a complete stranger, it's a little different there. Most awkward moment in our show history.
I'm gonna go Jim's Freddie Mercury line.
Oh, about the camel?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What about Jim's
I don't
line
think
about?
that was. I don't think it was awkward. It was actually
well thought.
Oh, it was hilarious.
Yeah. What about Jim's line about the George Michael song? That was one of his most famous songs.
Yeah, that was back on radio.
Oh, was that radio?
Yeah.
Okay.
Don't let your son.
Yeah, that's part of it. Is I have a hard time remembering what was radio.
Because the two girls that came up and done with it was like, y'all got nice feet.
Yeah, that was radio.
They didn't come up. We were at a remote.
At
a car dealership.
The BMW dealer. I'll never forget it. Yeah, they did. They walked up. I introduced
you
you
to
to
them. They walked up.
them.
You made it sound like they came from the station.
Do you guys like mayonnaise? Was a that wasn't funny. That was just socially awkward.
We never told that story though.
We did.
We
did.
told it on the air.
Yeah. Have you ever heard that story? Do you guys like mayonnaise?
I haven't heard that one.
We had, and I'm not going to remember who was here, but it was some people that were here. We were out in the lobby.
Our guys from New Life Art.
Was it New Life Art? That's right.
Yeah, Jeff and Rusty.
I don't even know, Jim, why we were talking about
I ran to the bathroom.
No, that was it. Everybody
was saying anything.
And there's 16 people in the lobby.
Jim hates
Nobody's
silence.
talking. Nobody's talking.
Yeah, Jim
Just
hates
standing
silence.
there. We've got guests.
And Jim says, "You guys like mayonnaise?"
Yeah, because we've been talking mayonnaise a little earlier.
The look they gave him.
Sure.
What is this
Hey,
guy?
you know who does like mayonnaise?
Who?
Yeah. I bought a.
That's how we got into it. You had been talking about some love of mayonnaise or something, and you walked out of the room.
Loves it, yeah.
Well, so I bought the big squeeze bottle of Duke's at the store this weekend, and so I put it in the pantry on like the mid-level. So I got home last night from the Calcutta, and chili is under the dining room table right when I got there. So I know she had done something bad.
Yeah.
So I walk in, that bottle of mayonnaise. She had opened it, gotten it out of the pantry, opened it, and eaten about a third of the bottle.
That dog. Those dogs. I've never seen anything like it.
Do they ever fetch or anything that normal dogs do?
Yeah, they can fetch.
Roll over and kill a man.
I mean, they got the mayonnaise out of the pantry. I mean, that's just a sentence you don't get with dogs.
Yeah, I think what is.
Just seem to go to, let's see, what do I want? Do not want
What's
chocolate.
for dinner time?
I didn't
all
even,
the chocolate
how
last
about
night.
this? So they wanted to, when I got home yesterday, they wanted to come hang out with me, but I had to take a quick shower and turn around and go to Odie's. So when I go to take the shower, they're scratching and they're pissed off because I had just gotten home and didn't spend any time with them. I come out, I had gotten Chili a new pad for her crate, the stuffed dog bed. It was in 1,000 pieces in the kitchen. So that was double up. Those are both my experiences yesterday.
A lot of people saying the Eric Estrada interview might have been the most awkward moment in this iteration of our show.
It was painful.
Yeah, it was painful.
It was painful. I don't think it was as awkward as Chris Katane, though.
Chris Kattan in radio was more awkward because he was in studio face to face. There's no doubt about that.
And he was there for 4 minutes because he didn't think we'd have the balls to say,
Saturday
Night
Live's all you've
Saturday
done.
Night
Yeah.
Live. Well, that's our show, boys. We appreciate him being Comedy Club. Go see him.
Saturday Night Live's all you've ever done, my man. So that's all we're going to ask you about.
And it was that quick of an interview.
Yeah.
He didn't think we'd shut the interview down, but we did.
Did the no SNL questions extend to like movies like Night at the Roxbury? Like he's not going to answer that either.
We didn't really want to talk about that, but I think
that's where we jumped off.
We started by talking about. I asked him about being in the cowbell skit. I was like, you were part of one of the most famous skits of all time on Saturday Night Live, the cowbell skit. And one of these two, I'm not sure which, followed up with another Saturday Night Live question. Was it Lance?
Yeah.
And he said, is all we're going to talk about Saturday Night Live here? And answer that question. And we didn't really discuss it, but I think it was me that wrapped it, or was it you that wrapped it?
Oh, it was me.
I think we all just felt like, all right, interview's over. Let's wrap.
Typical old Jim fashion. Back in the day when I used to be a butthole all the time, I was sitting here going,
used to?
Nobody's talking.
Jeez.
Nobody's talking.
That's right. All right.
And I go, All right, man. Thanks for being in the LT Comedy Club, man. You can go catch him.
444-0008.
Yeah, that's exactly that's what it was like.
Hey, do y'all have
All right, man. Thanks for being. Enjoy Birmingham.
An awkward moment before we all started doing the show? Because I remember one for me. I was interviewing Mike Dubose.
Oh, gosh.
And it was the early days of Wikipedia. And there was a story on there that he had lost one of his balls in a game against Notre Dame. And I was asking about injuries. I was like, yeah, I asked him about losing that nut. And he was completely baffled.
I don't know what you're talking about.
Do you remember us doing this is Dunaway and Brown days, we're doing a remote from the bank, and we were playing the pick 3. It was a Friday remote, it was a pick 3, and somebody
robbed the bank?
No, somebody picked Texas.
Boy, that would have been hell.
Somebody picked Texas Tech, and you got to remember, we were doing a show, the people in the bank can't hear the caller, they can only hear me and Dunaway, and I'm not even thinking we're in a bank.
Yeah.
And somebody picks Texas Tech, and I was like, oh, guns up! In a bank.
No, you did not.
Oh, yeah, 100%. Guns up.
Guns up in a bank.
And the old guard.
The security guards,
woke him up because we were right by the vault.
Yes.
Yeah, that guy was probably taking a nap all day,
100%
and
he was,
just sort of trained himself to only perk up if he hears
the word
something
gun.
Like, yeah, the
I mean,
word
that
gun
really
or robbery.
should be. I mean, one of the things that a security guard at a bank should have to run a sub 1040.
Yeah, I would think sub 10 would be helpful.
But I don't think there's any of them out there that can run a sub 10.
He perked up. His ears went up like this when he heard the word gun, much like Chili's ears does this when he hears that door shut and LT's leaving.
Time to play, boys.
All right. What are we doing today, guys? What's in the cupboard?
Yeah, Maddie was over this weekend, and I just got a brand new island, and it's painted black. And she's like, oh my God, because the boys were dog sitting over the weekend. And she's like, then they must have got something that ate the paint off. And I started looking at it, and it was Chili's claw marks.
Of course it was.
Yeah, they didn't. Nothing ate the paint off. They ate the paint off.
Jeeves, you want a female Vizsla?
I'm good. I used to have a bulldog, and I think that's the breed I'm going to stick with.
Okay, good
call. That is our 4 Downs today, brought to you by Bojangles.
Hey, don't forget you can start the morning tomorrow morning. I mean, dadgum, when Scott showed this video, it looked good. Of course, I'm starving right now. The Bojangles Chicken and Bowberry Waffle, signature Cajun chicken filet drizzled with a Bowberry glaze sandwich between 2 warm waffles. Available for a limited time. It's bow time.
Yeah, and also, as we get ready, remember, go to the bracket challenge and play that at nextroundlive.com. But Shannara bringing you this part of the show, Brownie. The Shannara Showdown, it's up and ready to go today. Tell us about Alexander Shannara trial attorneys. First off, just start with the fact that Alexander Shannara, he's Alabama's own Alexander Shannara.
He is. He's been doing this in Birmingham for 24 years. They've grown to 150 lawyers, supported by more than 500 dedicated team members, and they've delivered more than $2 billion, maintaining Alexander's core values: integrity, mastery, passion, and success. If you find yourself in need of a lawyer, call the Alexander Shannara Trial Attorneys. You pay nothing unless they win your case. Trash is next.
Take the next round anywhere you go with official Next Round gear. Buy yours today at nextround.store.
I'm attorney Alexander Shannara, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
No representation is made that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
Things fall apart. There's even a book about it, but that doesn't mean you have to break the bank to fix them. Ryan Brown here for the Next Round. Our friends at Mortgage Right have a new renovation option that will make repairs and other home improvements easy. If you've recently purchased a home and find yourself short on cash, or you're looking to buy a fixer-upper, Mortgage Right's renovation loan program can help you spruce up your space. Repairs can be made to your roof, plumbing, flooring, and more with the help of top-notch mortgage professionals. So get your fix by visiting mortgageright.com/TNR. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender.
Stop by the New York Butcher Shop and pick up the finest in certified Angus prime beef steaks and burgers, premium pork chops, ribs, and all-natural chicken cut to order just for you. Their chef-prepared entrees and side dishes are the perfect dinner-to-go choice for your family and are ready to heat at home. With a great selection of fine wines and desserts, the New York Butcher Shop is your one-stop dinner shop. 2 locations to serve you, Cahaba Heights and on Highway 119 in Greystone. The New York Butcher Shop, rare quality, well-done service.
Storm season is here. Make sure you have a plan of action in place right now. Greg from Pell City and Storm Restoration Roofing should be your first call when storms hit. Insurance companies love working with Storm Restoration Roofing because of Greg Nelson's name and reputation in the industry. When storms hit, call Greg Nelson. He's local, 205-542-3531. He's the home of the free no-cost roof inspection. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, 205-542-3531. It's Storm Restoration Roofing.
Hey, let me tell you about our friends at Urology Centers of Alabama. Compassionate and comprehensive urological care with 35 physicians, 17 locations across Alabama. Their patient-centered approach to all of your urological needs. Remember, they've got that new men's health center. It is beautiful, helping men with a wide range of sensitive male issues in a comfortable environment. You can always go online, visit urologycentersalabama.com, schedule an appointment with one of their many urologists today.
Celebrate the best time of year, tournament time, with MyBookie.ag. Sign up right now with code NEXTROUND and receive a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Tournament time is here, so enjoy it even more by playing along at MyBookie.ag. Bet anything, anytime, anywhere with MyBookie.ag. Use code NEXTROUND on your initial deposit for a 50% deposit bonus up to $1,000, plus a $10 casino chip. Don't get caught by the buzzer. Sign up now at MyBookie.ag, code NEXTROUND.
It's bow time. Tired of choosing between sweet and savory? Why not have both? Introducing Bojangles' new chicken and bowberry waffles. The bold Cajun chicken filet you love, now drizzled with a bowberry honey glaze and sandwiched between two warm waffles. Which means your favorite meal of the day just met your new favorite dish. And lucky for you, it's served all day. But it's only here for a limited time, so try chicken and bowberry waffles at Bojangles today. It's bow time.
You could win a Cadillac CT5 or your share of $25,000 in free play and cash at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. The more you visit, the more chances you have to win. Play the latest, most exciting games around with fun bonuses and big jackpots. You can be a winner too. Come win your share during the Cadillac CT5 and $25,000 giveaway at Birmingham Racecourse Casino. Drawings April 5th and 6th. Located off I-459, exit 31, Derby Parkway. Must be 21 or older, must be present to win.
I'm attorney Alexander Shinar, Alabama born, Alabama raised, and ready to fight for your rights. I have one of the largest firms in Alabama, and we are here to help you get the compensation you deserve. Call me, Alabama, 323-1000.
Your representation states that the quality of legal services being performed is greater than those of other lawyers.
All right, trash coming up here in a second. I got a couple of things I want to get to here. But first, let me tell you about Storm Restoration Roofing. And then I'm going to tell you about the AP All-American team that's out. I've been holding this since it dropped, I think, at 11 o'clock Central, maybe a little before that. But Storm Restoration Roofing, the All-American when it comes to getting on your roof. That's what Greg from Pell City is. A lot of people with storm damage recently. He is working through some phone calls, but you can call him up right now, 205-542-3531, 205-542-3531. But maybe you were spared this time. Maybe you were one of the lucky ones that had no damage in the last two big storms to blow through. So save that number, 205-542-3531. And Greg wants you to know that when a storm situation happens, he can come out immediately and help you sort of secure your property there. And he's such good friends with the insurance agents. He understands how it all works. He knows what you should do and shouldn't do that would impact your claim at some point. Sometimes you can do something that sort of screws it up. He can walk you through that process. He's such a good guy. He and his staff there, family owned and locally operated for over 20 years. Greg from Pell City on Facebook, A+ rated, and in normal times when we don't have severe storms happening, he will give you a free, no-cost roof inspection on that roof to find out if you got anything going on up there. And again, A+ rated, 205-542-3531, or Greg from Pell City on Facebook. Just the absolutely best is Storm Restoration Roofing. Speaking of the absolute best, this is postseason now, not the preseason, but the postseason looks a lot like the preseason. AP All-American team, first team. Janai Broome.
He's definitely there.
I'd say so, yeah.
Janai Broome is on the list.
I think there's only going to be 2 SEC all-first team.
Cooper Flagg is on the list.
Yeah, it's hard to argue that one.
Braden Smith of Purdue on the list.
Okay.
Walter Clayton Jr. of Florida on the list.
and Mark Sears of Alabama on the list. Those are your AP first-team All-Americans.
I am surprised that Sears is in front of P.J. Haggerty.
Voted on by the fine folks at the Associated Press. So Broom and Sears, I think, started preseason along with Cooper Flagg, and they finished that way.
Well, I do think it helps that you were preseason. I think it helps on, kind of the career and what these guys have done. I mean, obviously Broom was going to be there. I'm a little surprised that Sears is first team.
How close do you think R.J. Luis is from St. John's?
Oh, I would think I thought
he's got to be in the discussion.
I thought him and Haggerty would also be on this first team. That's why I thought there would only be two SEC. I thought Clayton and Broom.
Here's where I will credit.
I didn't think Braden Smith would be on here.
Here's where I'll credit the voters with Sears a little bit here is they didn't just get caught up in, boy, his numbers went down year to year.
Right.
There is an obvious reason his numbers went down year to year. Did he play as well as he did last year? Maybe not, but you can't make that judgment based just on numbers. Because the guy is on one of the most talented rosters in all of basketball. His numbers were naturally going to go down this year. So I credit them for not at least saying, his numbers dropped, don't vote for him. At least you look past that. Whether you're right or wrong, you look past that.
Listed as the 23rd All-American in Alabama basketball history, but he's only the second one to earn first-team honors. They do a second team and a third team. He's only the second one to get AP first-team honors. And Alabama didn't have a first-team AP All-American until 2023 in Brandon Miller.
Wow.
So no Leon Douglas, no Mule King, no
Derek McKee, no Robert Ory,
no Antonio McDyess.
That's hard to believe.
A first-team All-American by the Associated
And now
Press.
they've had 2 in 3 years.
Yep, both under Nate Oates there. And then Janai Broom, who still could very much be the National Player of the Year. He is on the All-American team, and he is a guy that continues to do nothing but to set Auburn records.
I think it's going to be really interesting if Broom does win that award and they go on a Final Four run. We talk about Sears is going to be the greatest. Broom, for what he's done for the program of Auburn, as good as Chuck Person and our man Charles Barkley, Chuck, were, you can start to make the argument that Broom is the greatest Auburn player, at least in that uniform. He's not going to be that guy at the next level.
Yeah.
Charles Barkley's one of the greatest ever. Chuck Person was fantastic.
But just
in the
based
NBA.
on what they accomplished at Auburn. I think we got Sears onto the Mount Rushmore of Alabama basketball. I don't think, based on what he's accomplished at Alabama, he's going to be considered the best ever at Alabama.
Well, the chapter is still open.
I agree. Now, if he leads them to a national championship,
he will be the greatest Alabama player of all time.
You're right. I should have backed it up, Terry, on that one.
So that is something. We're doing a show right now, and it's amazing that you've got Auburn is the number 1 overall, Alabama on the 2 line. Both of these teams have been in the Final Four since we've done a show. But now we're talking about we could potentially be watching the best at each program.
Absolutely. In those uniforms, absolutely. And at some point, do you if they do something good this year, Janai Broom could have a statue. Walking past the Charles Barkley statue and out of Neville today, just moments ago, the Auburn basketball team, the reverse Tiger walk, leaving the building and on their way to Lexington, Kentucky to try to start their road to San Antonio. There goes Bruce Pearl, and there are the Auburn fans, the reverse Tiger walk, and God knows that he's an Auburn fan because the sky is blue and Auburn is orange.
It is a pretty day down there, by the way.
Yeah.
Play 18 on your way out of town.
Yeah, making their way to the bus, then the drive over to Montgomery, the air flight up to Lexington, Kentucky. Our coverage starts from Lexington tomorrow with Taylor Korn covering Auburn. I'll be in Cleveland covering Alabama, and all that coverage all weekend long, as we have all year at Next Round Live. Follow us there and here on the show for the coverage. But there goes Auburn. They're off, and they hope on their way back as the number 1 overall seed in the tournament. Bruce Pearl said it. The goal is a national championship. We'll see what happens over the next few weeks. That gets us to Trash. It's brought to you by Mortgage Right. Tyler, if you will, man.
Now, if that's too much, 12 different appetizers to choose from. I'm a fried dickle pickle man. I'm a fried dill pickle man.
LT's Trash is presented by Mortgage Right. Mortgages done the right way.
Awkward moment from another show right there, not ours.
Hey, it is our friends at Mortgage Right, the mortgage experts. No cost or obligation to reach out, find out what you can qualify for. It's always buying season. Veteran founded right here in Birmingham. Offer loans throughout the country. While the area they serve may have grown, their commitment to Birmingham and veterans has not changed. Before you take the next steps on a new home purchase or refinance, talk with the team at Mortgage Right. You can get more information. Go to the website, mortgageright.com. Call 205-900-7200. NMLS 2239, Equal Housing Lender. A Bulgarian First Division team held a minute's silence for a former player, only to discover later he was actually still alive. Arda,
by the way, a whole minute
Kardzali made the shocking gaffe ahead of the facing traditional Bulgarian giants Levski Sofia in the top flight on Sunday.
They're already playing this season?
Both teams gathered. Do you have your T-shirt out yet?
I mean, my guys.
At the center circle, bowed their heads to remember the home team's club legend, Petko Jankiv. Minute silence was held for the 78-year-old who was reportedly out in town getting some work done. Now the crowd nobly joined in too. Everything appeared to be happening as usual. However, on the hour mark, Arda incredibly put out a club statement which read, quote, "The management of PFC Arda would like to express a huge apology to the former Arda player Petko Jankiv and his relatives after the club received wrong information about his death. We wish Petko many more years of good health and to enjoy the success of Arda." Now, as it turned out, an apology was certainly due as they nearly gave his wife a heart attack.
Charles says, "Your key player's dead, right?" No, that's my
that was my mascot.
He went on to say,
I got traded. I'm not dead.
Quote, I was driving home. My phone started ringing a lot, but I was driving. I didn't dare to answer. I entered the garden. My wife greeted me in tears. She said, "They announced on TV that you had passed away. I couldn't understand
I thought you were just
what she was saying or what she was doing."
But again, let me just point out, 1 minute of silence. Normally when they do let's take a moment of silence, maybe 5 seconds, right? Is that your standard moment of silence?
I would tell you, sadly, at the national championship game after the terrorist attack, it wasn't long enough. I think there was still a little bit of echoing going on. I was upset. No, it may have been the Sugar Bowl, wherever it was. I was
you
upset.
didn't see the Sugar Bowl one.
I was up. Yeah, that's right. Yeah. It was the national championship one. It was almost like they had to squeeze it in to make the TV broadcast because they didn't miss it in the other one. But I was like, we could pause a little bit there or give it a moment.
Yeah.
I mean, it was almost like, remember those who have done it, please take a moment of silence. And now for the national anthem. And I was like, whoa.
I am fortunate enough that very kind asked me, the Sports Hall of Fame asked me to do their induction, the MC of their induction ceremony every year. And they always honor the inductees that had passed the year before. I always count to 5. Let's stand for a moment of silence to honor. You read the names, Coach Pat Dye or whatever, when he passed away.
One Mississippi.
And I say, I do. I say, let's pause for a moment of silence. I count to 5 and I say, thank you. I mean, I think 5's enough, right?
I think 5's enough.
You move your lips.
Number.
Hey, look at my man Les Snead right here he's doing an interview. Does he have a man bun? Watch. He's known for his good hair, but you see in the back, it's either bedhead or a man bun. He's talking to McAfee right now.
Yeah. I'm looking at the reflection of it, see if I can get it. I don't have it yet.
I don't think man bun, Lance, because I think I see the tips of his hair.
No, what you're going to see the very back, the crown is something bunched up, and it's a lot higher than the other. Do you not see that?
That is going to be I
don't think so.
I think he just got messed up here.
Yeah, it might be bedhead. He might have taken a little nap.
I see what you're saying
now.
He's
got the gel here.
Yeah. I don't think it's man bun.
Yeah.
It's a weird man bun.
I see it now, but I don't think it is.
Former Auburn Tiger, by the way.
Les Snead, yeah.
It looks younger than I thought he was.
Oh, yeah. Look, I mean, money in California will do that for you. And when you win a championship, right? F them picks.
Let me ask you, if we were popping balloons, could we hold him by his ankles and sit there and pop balloons with his spiked hair?
With his tips.
He's got some product in there.
There's product in there.
Possibly. A man wearing a T-shirt declaring, "I never argue," was arrested yesterday.
Let me guess the charge.
When an argument with a female acquaintance turned violent, according to police.
Yeah.
Boy, he is surprised to be getting a mugshot.
Sir, could you look right at the camera? What?
Tyler, what happened to our mugshot Monday, by the way?
Holding whoever's playing Alabama.
Thomas Ritter.
So I was looking for mugshots the other day, and I found a few of them that were just regular
boring
old crimes. Yeah, just boring stuff.
So Mugshot Monday ran its course in 2 weeks, is what you're telling me.
Well, there's also the issue of I offer, do you guys want options, the choices, so that way we can guess and have it be a game.
All right.
And then you guys say no, and then Brown says driving with a suspended license for every mugshot.
I think it was 3 of the 5, Tyler, to be fair.
No, I would say just whenever you
Tyler
have them.
kicking you right in the junk.
Doesn't have to be every Monday. Just whenever there's a good group of them.
And we'll play the game however you want to play the game.
So,
I am so sorry. I did not know I had
This is Daniel Morello, 44 years old, accused of repeatedly punching the 24-year-old victim in the head while they were seated in a BMW outside of the Econo Lodge in Kissimmee, Florida. The Econo Lodge motel, by the way.
What do you think might be going on behind the doors of the Econo Lodge motel?
I think there is a lot of
hourly
in
payments.
Kissimmee, Florida, there's definitely some dude selling like bootleg Disney World tickets.
It's nothing but cash transactions
Correct,
in the Econo Lodge.
There's meth, sex,
and bootleg Disney tickets.
Disney tickets.
Tyler's right about that.
There's people that sell them.
And probably.
Have you seen the Florida Project?
No, I've been meaning to watch
Willem
that one.
Dafoe, but it's got that angle in it.
I bet you also can buy an exotic animal back there.
Oh, yeah, you're probably right. Yeah.
That might be a little highbrow for the Econo Lodge in Kissimmee.
Exotic animals, snakes.
Now, the duo had traveled from Tampa, were left stranded when their car broke down after a few days at the hotel. Can you imagine?
A few days.
We're just going to camp out here. Post up at the Econo Lodge. They ran out of money, shocking, quote, began staying in their vehicle while attempting to fix it and arranged for a tow. Now, while Morello said he and the victim had been, quote, in a romantic relationship for several months, the woman, cops say, denied an intimate relationship with him. The inability to arrange a AAA tow, the victim told police, upset Daniel had added to the tension between them, which led to the verbal argument, which investigators charge progressed to Morello battering the woman. Now, cops noted the victim had several bumps on her head, which appeared, quote, swollen and recent. Morello claimed that he struck the victim several times in retaliation at her punching him in the face. He added that after the woman threw urine at him from a cup that was inside of the car. How bad do you think that car smelled?
It's awful, but far too often in trash we have urine used as a missile through the air, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, that should almost be a felony.
It just seems like it shows up in a lot of stories.
Now, based on the totality of the circumstances, officers arrested Morello for misdemeanor battery, was booked into county jail, $1,000 bond in advance of a court appearance this afternoon.
You know what shut that down is if we could get a great like Alexander Shinara to prove that there is at least one case of urine causing a disease that could kill me. So now I can charge you with attempted murder.
Oh.
Yeah, it's a chemical attack.
Yeah.
I don't know though. I don't know if urine, like obviously E. coli, if you were to sling somebody's other all around.
Urine has been filtered unless you've got a bad filtration system in your body. Urine should, in theory, be at least disease-free,
Yeah,
right?
it should be sterile, right?
What if it gets in my eyes?
That's what Bear Grylls says.
Bear Grylls says, what if it gets in my eyes?
No, he says it's sterile.
I don't know. Dunaway, tell us about the 90s.
Yeah.
Did it ever get in your eyes?
I don't know, but I would quickly get in the shower.
I got that.
Thank you.
Australian woman narrowly avoided jail Monday over her plans to sell on the black market. You guys will never guess. Look at her. What do you think she wanted to sell on the black market?
Sex.
Hair dye? Hopefully.
Her hair would be a good guess, Brownie. Yeah. I'm going to say it turns out it's going to be her kidney.
Catherine O'Hara meets Courtney Love.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, definitely Catherine O'Hara in Beetlejuice here.
Yeah.
So she is going to sell on the black market 2 human toes that dogs had regurgitated at an animal shelter where she worked.
Going to need to know some backstory.
Okay, this is
dog.
Joanna Kinman, 48 years old, looks a little older than 48. Was not at the animal shelter in the southeastern state of Victoria when the 2 dogs vomited up the toes and other remains in February of 24.
Other remains.
Now, the dogs, which had been surrendered to the shelter, had eaten parts of their owner's body after he died of natural causes. Oh. The owner has not been publicly identified. If I go down, do you think the dogs are eating me?
Dude, I was just about to say.
Whatever, fine, Lance.
I said, y'all may want to just pin this story here real quick. I'm just hoping you're dead when it happens. I just hope you're not really asleep or passed out.
I haven't seen, I've gone through it because it always pops up, or it did pop up for a while on Netflix. There was some movie where this chick's out in the wilderness and somebody gives her some kind of, I don't know what it is, but it paralyzes her. Where she's completely conscious, but she can't move.
Oh, yeah.
Like if you were to do that to me, that would be bad.
I picture Chili, and he's got a napkin around his neck, a fork and a knife, and you're a smoking turkey just out of the oven in his image, like that cartoon back in the day.
All I can think of is we bust through Lance's door, Chili's, lean back in the recliner with Lance's femur picking his teeth.
Yeah.
You know, it's crazy. You know what they've
Welcome
got?
to my house.
And I think they're trying to upgrade. So Chili came from a trailer park.
Right.
That's where I got her. Bullet came from the wilderness out in Northport, with all the ticks, no identification, anything. So now they're in a pretty good setup. They get Farmer's Dog every day. They lay on restoration hardware blankets every day, but I think they want to upgrade. Like, they want to see what else is out there, and I'm trying to tell them.
No.
Like, you're rolling the dice. You're probably going to go the wrong way on this.
You're too good to them. You need to remind them where they came from.
Put them on a chain out back.
I mean,
an appreciation trip is what we call that as a kid.
I think we would. I think they deserve 48 in the hole right now. I'd put them in the garage and let's see what happens. Man.
They would wreak so much havoc. When I put them out back and I built that nice play area for them too. They'll get pissed at me and they'll bark as loud as they can, like up over the fence at the neighbors because they know it pisses me off and I got to let them back in.
Chili comes back out of the hole like Andy Dufresne. It's like, how was it? Easiest time I've ever done.
Okay.
I won't go back though. One of us is going down.
One of us is going through the Raquel Welch poster out through the sewage.
Hey, the trouble she went to. Now, Kinman reportedly told police she retrieved the toes from a bin, took them home, where she put them in a jar of formaldehyde. She appears she can make as much as $400 Australian dollars, which equates $253 American dollars by selling them online.
Big score.
She has been sentenced to an 18-month non-custodial sentence, including 150 hours of community service. First of all, who's worse, the person that's selling the toes or who's buying the toes?
That's right. What are you going to do with the toes? Make a necklace? Earrings?
I do worry more about the person buying them now that you asked the question, Lance. The lady selling them?
She just sees an opportunity.
Yeah, she's making $1.
I'm a little concerned about whose toes there are, though.
Well, that's my ultimate.
Well, he gone now.
Yeah.
Okay, finally, terrible Tubi titles. I told you guys one of the worst movies I ever saw, and I had to watch it when I had to get Tubi for Pac-12 Network, and it came up, Trap House. And it was absolutely the worst film. But I told you, I put it on. It was like 89 minutes, couple of edibles, laughed my ass off. Here are some terrible Tubi titles. First one. These are the movies they make. The Grinch That Stole Bitches. It goes on to say the Grinch has to settle the score with Santa, so he decides to take a different approach.
That's right.
Next one's Killer Rack. Woman suffering from low self-esteem who gets breast enhancement surgery, unaware of her surgeon that he worships H.P. Lovecraft's elder gods, and the surgery is part of a diabolical plot to rule the world. Those are 38 triple D's, aren't they?
Could kill a man, apparently.
Zombievers is our next up on Tubi.
Oh, no.
College friends find their weekend of sex and debauchery ruined when deadly zombie beavers swarm their riverside cabin.
Look at the one swimming back there.
I like the tagline, "You'll all be damned."
Yeah.
That's actually really good, though. That's the best part of it.
The next one from Tubi, Five-Headed Shark Attack. Mutated five-headed great white shark goes on a rampage on the beaches of none other than Puerto Rico.
It would seem like he'd always be confused, Jim. Which head's attacking there?
All of them, Brown. It's like a
you can't miss.
A machine gun.
Yeah.
I saw a clip last night of a surfer being attacked by two great whites at the same time in the wave. Have you seen this?
No, I have not.
Seen
It's
that.
incredible. And it's real. It's not CGI.
Probably not going to end well.
The problem with the five-headed shark here, can you imagine the arguments that go on between those five guys on which way to swim? Because they're constantly swimming.
We're going Jack's way again.
Another left turn? Come on, Jack.
We have seen this coral reef 1,000 times already.
Next up,
let's have a vote. Of course you're voting with him again on the left side.
Next up, Dinosaur Hotel. Sienna must survive being chased by a horde of dinosaurs to win a lucrative cash prize in a strange underground game show that caters to the entertainment needs of the wealthy. So basically, it's Running Man, but with dinosaurs and a chick.
That was the impression I got, and I think that's absolutely bizarre.
That is quite bizarre.
We got two more. Meth Gator. Police warned residents to refrain from flushing meth down their toilet to prevent meth gators down in Sweetwater Point, Florida.
But this could happen.
Guess what? They didn't listen.
This could happen. I mean, you may not flush it, but you may throw it out. If the police are coming, you may throw it out your window before they flick the lights on, and now the gators are eating it.
So cult classic. It was called Alligator, I think, in the 70s. where there was I don't think it was true. I think it was more urban legend, people flushing the alligators down the sewer system in New York.
Yeah.
So they made that movie and then Cocaine Bear, and I think you combine these two to make Meth Gator.
But you don't think flying over the Everglades ever that we dropped out of a plane and that they couldn't find certain batches of cocaine?
I think we've done a trash story on sharks that they think ate the cocaine off one of the boats in the Caribbean, and sharks just went nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I guarantee it's happened in the
Our
Everglades.
final terrible to-be title, Kung Fu Titties. Richard Titties enters a supernatural realm to rescue his kidnapped girlfriend from Zephyros, madman obsessed with breast. Joined by his sister, a gorilla, and others, Richard must improve his skills to defeat Zephyros and save the captive woman.
My takeaway from this movie right here is Bronson Pinchot is still alive. I had no idea that guy was still with us. Did you?
No, but he
I
was
seen him in forever.
He was in True Romance, which is Tarantino wrote it, Tony Scott directed it. It was a great ensemble cast.
Oh, I'm not saying he's terrible. I'm just saying I had not seen him in forever. I had no idea he was still alive.
Boy, he needs a paycheck if he's doing Kung Fu Titties.
Ain't no doubt.
Or it's Kung Fu and Titties. Okay, I read that wrong.
Tubi had it listed as Kung Fu Titties.
Well, his last name is that, right?
His last name is Titties.
So
it's
obviously
Richard
confusing.
Titties.
Yes.
Yeah.
And that is
very believable.
That is Trash Today, brought to you by our friends at Mortgage Right.
Yeah, they are your mortgage experts, whether you're looking for your first home or your final home. Again, no cost or obligation to find out what you might qualify for. They are your mortgage experts, 205-900-7200 or mortgageright.com.
And our final story today, Paul Feinbaum hinted at this in the latest edition of the Saturday Down South podcast with our man Connor O'Gara, that he believes Nick Saban's time with College Game Day is going to be short-lived.
I was surprised, yeah.
He thinks that after 1 year that it's a lot of work, a lot of...
Like Saban is not used to a lot of work?
A lot of spotlight. And he compared it to being like buying a new car, that after a year two of that new car, it's not as great as it was the first year. He's hinting that, and you always wonder if Paul has talked to somebody.
Yeah, there's no way Paul's just speculating this.
That maybe Nick may do this one more year and may decide.
That is surprising.
Yeah, it is surprising because he seemed like he was having fun. In fact, if you will remember that opening Notre Dame Texas A&M game, right as they're going off, when Lee Corso's dancing around as a leprechaun, the guest picker was Shane Gillis. I think he sat there with his shirt on.
No, it was the Sheamus or whatever.
Yeah, whoever it was. Whatever it was, yeah. Nick Saban says, "I've never had this much fun. I didn't know you guys did this every Saturday."
That was week 0.
That was week 0.
Yeah.
Week 1.
Fast forward to the national championship game, week 20.
Yeah, but I mean, guys, this guy was working 17 hours a day in Tuscaloosa.
Yeah, I don't think it's work. I think it is where he is in his life, and he probably didn't realize it was as much. Like, because Terry can travel with him, but how much can they actually hang out on that trip?
And then once you shut it down, Brown, he's powered it down to this, away from that. Now he's like, okay, now I can shut this down and I can do what? I can play golf, I can fish, I can be with the grandkids. I bet Saban and Herb Street leave that show at the same time.
Well, that would be devastating for that show.
Well, what's Herb Street going to do?
Oh, he only does the main game and the Amazon
You're
game.
saying he would just give that up and do the game, the two-game broadcast?
Yeah, I think
the two games.
I think I would look at what does Troy make? Troy Aikman's make it. I'll take that deal.
Yeah.
I mean, that's what I would do.
I think combined salaries, he's making more than Troy.
You think he makes that much from Amazon?
Oh, Amazon's probably paying him, I don't want to say more than ESPN, but he's paying him a lot.
I wouldn't doubt that, but even if you got backed up into Troy's neighborhood with just doing 2 games.
Yeah, I'm just saying that Nick Saban wants to be around people he really enjoys being around, and I would imagine he and Herb Street have a kismet.
I've always thought that jobs like this, which is why Romo's able to do it and Aikman and guys like that, gives you enough film study to keep your juices flowing. I get to break down that film the way I always like to. But you don't have to go recruit. You don't have to put your body through, as the player's body through difficulties. I've always thought these are the perfect jobs for driven guys like Troy Aikman and Nick Saban. He's probably playing golf in Jupiter Island right now and getting ready for the draft.
He's breaking down film on the draft, and he was the most over-prepared guy last year for the NFL draft.
Oh, yeah. People in Tuscaloosa that work with Coach Saban now told us he was asking for players, and somebody finally had to tell him, Coach, you're only doing the first 2 days of the draft. Yeah. There is zero chance this kid goes in the first 2 days.
I love that, though. That's great.
You'll never get to it.
Yeah, this guy is definitely a day 3 guy.
By the way, from Joe Shad, who covers the Miami Dolphins today. Did you see that tweet?
I have not. What did Joe say?
If Will Campbell drops, big focus for the Dolphins.
Yeah.
Or if Shedeur Sanders drops to where the Dolphins are, that they may take a look at Shedeur Sanders.
I would not want that if I was you. I think Shedeur is going to be fine, but why would you want to waste a pick that early?
Yeah.
Because, you got to bank on Tua. I know that it's risky, his health, but you just got to play the percentages.
You've addressed backup with Zach Wilson, and I know Zach Wilson's not a world beater, but it's probably the best backup Miami's had with Tua there. It's better than Skylar Thompson or Mike White or Teddy Bridgewater,
But there'd be a market for Tua.
Yeah, there would be, but when Tua's healthy, he's one of the better quarterbacks in the league.
That's what I'm saying. Can you imagine what you could get from the Vikings for Tua?
Oh, boy, Tua would tear it up in that offense.
Wouldn't he, though? That's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
All right.
But I would rather have Will Campbell.
Oh, yeah.
I'm saying if I'm the Dolphins.
Well, I tell you what you don't want is the Vikings. You don't want Tua having to play at Lambeau. He is awful in those situations, by the way. And you would have to consider that.
And Chicago.
Late in the year, he is terrible in conditions.
Great point. All right. Great point from Brownie to end the show. We'll do this for the first time in 916 shows. I'm kidding. He makes great points all the time. Just rarely at 7 after to the top of the hour. Grant Nelson, as we started the show with, positive news, but he's questionable for round 1 in Cleveland. Auburn left today. All-Americans, first-team All-Americans, Broom and Sears part of that list. A lot of good, positive basketball. Don't forget the Shannara game, Shannara Showdown. It's live right now, nextroundlive.com, nextroundlive.com, and you can jump on there and play tonight's game. If you get a winner, you're in the big drawing for cash. And don't forget the Pennant Grace is up here in about 8-9 minutes. Their first live episode here to get you going. Baseball season, Dodgers won today. They'll be talking about that. Until next time, God bless you, and God bless America.